All right. We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for watching. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. You could be pretty much anywhere, but you're here. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over television, mainstream media, alternative media, everywhere. And speaking of alternative media and television, I suppose, we got to talk about Newsmax and the interview with Mike Lindell that went off the cliff. A wild interview, but not Newsmax's fault. They pretty much were at the end of a proverbial pistol with that lawsuit looming over their head. It's like, what are you going to do? We'll talk about that. Also, Marjorie Taylor Greene. We got to talk about that as well because I feel like the left and a big part of the right are trying to demonize her because they feel she's the embodiment of Trump. They don't want Trumpism to continue. That's what the whole thing with the Capitol was, to try and end Trumpism. We'll talk about all those things to more and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I appreciate y'all for being here yet again. You could be almost anywhere, but you're here. We got a whole lot going on. Newsmax, Marjorie Taylor Greene, White House screening reporters, allegedly, Kamala not knowing the difference between the coal mine and a landmine, apparently. And there's a lot more. The Lincoln Project co-founder, Joe Biden placing kids back in cages. They're going to put y'all back in chains. Nah, how about he's going to put y'all back in cages? How about that? We'll talk about all that on tonight's show. And again, thank y'all for being here. Is my screen right? Because it's looking weird over here, hopefully. I'm going to just check myself out just to make sure everything's good to go. Because my preview is just looking really strange. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to try to get that together. And I think we should be straight, though. Okay, we good. Perfect. All right. Okay. So we good to go. Hey, we got a whole lot happening. I think I'm going to start with Newsmax. And then I'm making it to Marjorie Taylor Greene. My biggest issue I want to talk about tonight is definitely Marjorie Taylor Greene, because that is going to be something you need to look out for. All right. And now I'm gonna talk about the Capitol and all that and how it relates to Marjorie Taylor Greene and how they're trying to manipulate us into just casting her away, some kind of crazy lady. But I'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about Newsmax. Really, I mean, what happened was not their fault. What could they do? Here's the situation. If you didn't see my video earlier. Now, Newsmax had an interview with Mike Lindell. He's a CEO of MyPillow. Now, Mike Lindell has been deplatformed from Twitter, right? They took his page away on Twitter, and then they took his business page away because he's trying to talk about the election and, you know, its shady results and Dominion, all this, that, and the third. He's talking about all of that through his Twitter accounts, and then they just took him off. They banned him off the platform. You get Bed Bath & Beyond and other places taking his products out of their stores. Basically, it's the cancel culture mob has hit MyPillow because of Mike Lindell's politics. Now, wherever you're at in society where your personal politics will interfere with your business to the point where you can't sell your pillows anymore, you're taking off of your social media accounts, like what's really going on? Okay, why can't I talk about a thing that I believe to be true? If I think there was something going on with the election, why can't I talk about that just out there on the internet? Now, what Twitter will try to have you believe is that they took him off because, he's spreading baseless accusations or whatever. But people do that all the time on Twitter. That's not a thing you really get taken off of Twitter for. I think it's because, number one, it's a political bias, obviously. And number two, there's business implications. If Twitter is seen as a place that's harboring so-called false information, then that may cause other advertisers to boycott against them. So then there could be cancel culture used against Twitter itself. So Twitter's trying to protect their financial interests, and also you got those that just hate conservatives. So for them, it just kind of works. It's like, it's a few different things happening. It's Twitter itself not liking what he's talking about, and also the people that may leave Twitter as far as advertisers that don't like what Michael Lindell posts. Either way it goes, he's getting kicked off of Twitter. That's kind of how it goes. Now, Newsmax is where you can go and speak as a conservative. All right. You can't speak that way really on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube sometimes, but you can't do that on Newsmax. Now the problem is that Michael Lindell was talking about the Dominion machines, and Dominion is an actual company. Now they're saying that one of the head guys at Dominion got forced into hiding after that, and it was a whole big mess, all this, that, and the third. Now I don't know anything about him going into hiding. I've not heard about that one. Maybe that's true, maybe that's false. I have no idea. But it doesn't even really matter. The fact is that they said that the person, the high level guy, I don't know if it was a CEO, an employee, I don't know, an executive, he went into hiding. So the argument is that Michael Lindell and others are pushing so-called baseless accusations about Dominion's voting machines. Therefore, there's a lawsuit pending. Rudy Giuliani got sued for 1.2 or 1.3 billion with a B. Not million, billion. Do you understand how much that is? Even if Giuliani is able to win the case, he still loses, because how much would litigation cost? Giuliani is a lawyer, but he won't be defending himself. He's going to have a team of lawyers that help him. That's how that works. So this is going to be a thing that is going to be very expensive to fight and to settle. Forget about it. If you want to settle and not fight to save time and money, that's going to be a big amount of money. If you try to fight it, it's going to be a lot of money. If you decide to just, take a default judgment and not fight it or anything, that's going to be a lot of money. Either way it goes, you're spending a tremendous amount of money, and Newsmax does not have that kind of capital, period. And why would you spend that kind of money on an issue like that? We all know what the situation is. If you're watching Newsmax, already know what's happening with Dominion and the machines and the voting. You know that. So what's the point in spending so much money to the point where you're not even going to be there anymore on that one issue? Live to fight another day. That's just battling. It's just war. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you are overwhelmed in a situation, you got to back off. It's just like if you ever been in a fight and a dude is just stomping you. I'm talking about he giving you elbows. He giving you some UFC type stuff. You 12 years old. He 15. He bought 100 pounds heavier. He just beating the daylights out you, right? I mean, at a certain point, okay, you fought, you gave it your best, you didn't just run away and hide and cry. You fought, but you lost. Come back to fight another day. Don't just, continuously try to fight and get stomped more. That's what Newsmax is doing. And Newsmax, before Giuliani came on, they already issued a retraction saying that, hey, we can't find any evidence about the Dominion machines and we're not going to cover that anymore, because they got a notice about the lawsuit. Fox News got the same notice, so did OAN. They all got their notice. They're like, hey, if you keep on, we're going to sue you into the ground, into dust. So they had to back off. So when Mike Lindell comes on there, you see where the guy was reading the statement, it was like a hostage note. We did not find any evidence of, he was reading it like that for a reason. He was trying to just kind of be funny, and at the same time let you know that this ain't me doing this. This is not my personal opinion. This is what we have to do as a business to stay afloat, period. People can say that they should fight and it doesn't really matter about the money, but they don't have anything to lose. If you work for Newsmax, you got your job to lose. If you are Newsmax itself, if you are the employee, if you're the investors and the CEO, if you're the people that own Newsmax, you got something to lose. You don't want to lose your company and lose a voice for conservatives over one issue. So I will say that it was kind of strange the way my man handled it. That could have been done in a much better way. He was like over talking him the whole time as he was talking. And then it was funny towards the end when he asked him a question after Mike Lindell stopped talking. Mike was like, huh? And then the girl laughed because he wasn't listening the whole time. He was just trying to talk the whole time. But he could have done that a little bit better. And then for him to get up and leave is like, where are you going, sir? where are you leaving the camera? Like, why would you leave? That was probably a little bit over the top. But as far as not wanting to talk about Dominion, I don't blame him, because it's just business. It's nothing personal. It's just business. And I think Mike Lindell knows that, which is why he went back on Newsmax that same day. And they didn't talk about Dominion. All I talked about was this whole cancel culture thing. And matter of fact, Mike Lindell still has a product code that's promoting Newsmax on his website right now. He promoted it again after the whole kerfuffle happened with the guy walking off set. So he knows what's happening. He knows what's going on. He knows that it's nothing personal. It's just business. That's just how it is sometimes. It's unfair. It's not right, but it's just money involved. That's it. Yeah. I mean, hold on. D. Martin says, so we know where ABL draws a line. It's not me drawing a line. I don't have no dog in the fight. I don't own Newsmax. I mean, it's not me. It's the money. It's the business. Like I said, people that don't have any dog in the people that don't have any financial interest in it and nothing to lose, they could say whatever. They could say, you know what, fight it until the end. I don't care if it costs $1 trillion, do it, because you're not spending a dime of your money. It's them that, that work hard, spent years investing. Newsmax is a company. I mean, I don't know the story behind Newsmax, but I'm sure that it took a lot of hard work, dedication, millions of dollars to get it to where it's at right now. It's a small news network. It took a long time to get it right there to where it's at, to where you know about it. It took blood, sweat, tears, and years. Now, you could say throw it away over one issue, and that's fine. But like I said, you have no financial interest in it. But what if you are them? Put yourself in their shoes. It's people that wouldn't even send up to their boss at their job making $30,000 a year because they need that to eat. Now you want to tell Newsmax to put their whole network on the line with all their employees and staff and everybody else and the guests that come on to have their voice heard to millions of people over one issue. It doesn't make any sense. Emotionally, it feels good to say fight against it, but logically, using your brain, it does not make sense, period. And like I said, it's not even me saying it. This is just the reality of the situation. Mike Lindell knows it, and he is the actual person that got silenced, but it wasn't even him or Newsmax. It was Dominion threatening a lawsuit. He came back that very same day and was cool. So if Mike Lindell's not tripping, why would anybody else be tripping? That's just my opinion. And if he was to go on Fox, it'd be the same thing. They're not gonna let him talk about that because Fox got threatened with a lawsuit as well. Fox probably don't even want him at all. Newsmax was gracious to have him, period. Let alone talk about some, voting machines, which you can't talk about because of the lawsuit, the financial part. All right. Yeah. So that's just, it is what it is. You're welcome. You could say keep folding. I mean, but like I said, let you be the guy that runs Newsmax and see what you do. If you say, all right, you know what? I'm going to put out a retraction that says that we believe that, Dominion didn't do anything wrong or we couldn't find any evidence. If we put that out and then we renege on our retraction and mess around and get sued to the point where we don't exist anymore, I mean, how are you going to explain that to your employees? To the guys running the cameras and the guys doing the editing? And how are you going to explain that to your investors that put money up to see you succeed, and then you do a thing that goes against what your company's supposed to do? As a matter of fact, if you are a CEO, you have a legal obligation to do things to make a company money. If you do things that will not make the company money, you can go to jail for that. That could be considered some type of what would that be called? Espionage, probably. Like if you are the CEO and you do things that will cost your company money and will not be beneficial, you might go to jail for that. Or at least, I'm not sure about jail. You could definitely get sued for that. It's your legal obligation to do what's right by the company, period. All right. So yeah, that's all that it is. So shout out to Newsmax. It's unfortunate what happened, but let's not blame Newsmax. Let's blame Dominion. That's what it's all is about. Mike Lindell was talking about Dominion and what he was saying. That's the reason why he was not on Twitter anymore. And then the reason why he couldn't say that specifically on Newsmax is because Newsmax got threatened with a lawsuit by Dominion. So put the blame where it's supposed to go rather than blaming the good guys that are trying to get the message out there. This reminds me what happened with Patreon back in the day. If you guys been here for a while, you remember this thing. This was like, 2016, 2017? This was a while back. But this is during the adpocalypse. I forget exactly when this was. But this was a few years back during the adpocalypse here on YouTube. And what adpocalypse was, basically, there was a bunch of hit pieces written about YouTubers and YouTube in general, saying that there was all kind of crazy content, just ridiculous and disturbing content. And you had ads for like McDonald's and Starbucks right next to the crazy content. So the people that were running the ads were like, look, okay, I don't want my ad for, some chicken nuggets right next to some ad talking about beheading people in Iraq. I don't want that right there. So what I'm going to do is take my ads off of YouTube. And that caused a big dip in creator revenue because there was not enough ads to go around on the platform. All right. So some guys, as a result of all this, got totally demonetized, like no ads on the channel at all, because they were trying to preserve ads for, I guess you would call it, good channels. And you had some political guys caught up in the mix of that. And I kind of was in that a little bit. People had their channel go all the way down financially. It was crazy. But anyway, so as a result of that, people went to Patreon, where you can have a subscription. People could just pay to support you if they want. And that was a way for them to shore up their income. And it came in just a perfect time. Guys that were relying upon the ad revenue did not have to rely upon the ad revenue because they had Patreon. And then there was a guy, Sargon Neferkad. He got kicked off of Patreon because of something that he did. I forget exactly what he did. This has been a while ago. But he did something and was removed from Patreon. And then what he did was put out a hit piece himself about Patreon. And as a result of that, people boycotted the place where they went because YouTube was unfairly demonetizing their favorite content creators. So they went to Patreon to help the guys that were on YouTube getting demonetized. Patreon was not discriminating against these guys except for one guy. And then that one guy caused Patreon people that were conservative to lose like 20% of the revenue, 50% of the revenue. It's the same thing. But Patreon did nothing wrong. This was one guy. Is losing your whole platform potentially worth one person? And if your platform is gone, then it doesn't even matter that he's gone because everybody's gone at that point. So rather than just having that one person leave, everybody's gone and everybody suffers as a result. So if you got one person or one particular issue that's wrong, there's no point in sacrificing everything for that one particular issue. Live to fight another day. Moral of the story. But I digress. So now Alex Jones is not banned everywhere. Alex Jones, let's get that right. Alex Jones is banned on mainstream platforms, but he has his own platform. Let's not forget about that. Infowars, band.tv. See, Alex Jones is still going to be Alex Jones regardless because he has his own platform. So regardless of what goes on, he's going to be fine. And that's the beauty of the internet. You get all these third-party type things, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Once you got your own platform and you build that up, they can't take that from you. Just like Breitbart. If you search for anything news related, Breitbart does not come up in Google for the most part. And if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments. People still go to Breitbart.com because it has name recognition. You already know what it is. I go to Breitbart every day and read the news. I don't search for Breitbart on Google. So I know it ain't going to show up, but I'm going to still go there regardless. So you can't cancel everything because some websites, people, you're going to know who they are regardless of whether you have big tech supporting them or not. Big tech does make a difference, obviously, because you got to be able to discover somebody first to get to know them. But if you have that recognition already, then you can't really break that. So that's just what that is. But yeah, the main thing that I would say to anybody talking about these third-party platforms, Parler, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, have your own platform be your primary objective. That's just my humble opinion. All right. So thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up, share the video, like the video, do all that good stuff. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene. We got to get to Marjorie Taylor Greene because I feel like people are being, they're being manipulated to speak out against her when that's not necessarily a thing you should be doing. There's a lot of lies out there, a lot of AstroTurf campaigns. When you get the same false thing said over and over again in a variety of places to the point where it's seen as a truth. Like the whole thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they say this whole Jewish lasers from space. She never said Jewish lasers from space. She did say a laser that was like up in orbit or in space, like high Earth orbit. But she didn't say anything about it being Jewish. She said that you got the Rothschilds, people like that are financing some of these things, which is a fact. I mean, we all know that. There's big financiers that do certain things and have their money involved. It's just like having Soros involved in some of the BLM stuff. That's not anything new. That's not, I mean, like if I say Soros is involved with, uh, what's that, brand new Congress, just as Democrats, I'm not saying that it's a Jewish organization. I'm just saying that he's involved, along with Cenk Uygur and a bunch of more guys that got money and have influence. So they said, they took the whole thing about the laser and then said, since she said the Rothschilds, and at some point in the Facebook post, like a paragraph below the laser thing or above the laser thing, that means she said Jewish space lasers. And then that gets reported over and over again. It gets astroturfed, and then people believe it on the left and the right. Oh, she's crazy. Jewish space lasers. Is that what she said? And I was hearing about that. I'm like, okay, I wasn't paying too much attention. And then I was like, okay, can we cite that? Can we cite where she said Jewish space laser? And I was getting sent this Facebook post, and I'm reading the Facebook post, and I'm like, okay, I don't see where she said that. I see how you can make it be that, but that's not what she said. And then I was seeing certain posts or certain videos. I think David Packman, the liberal guy on YouTube, was saying Jewish control laser. I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. Y'all twisting words. This is funny. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is not different than, like, I would say your average person, really, honestly. I mean, 9/11 and the Pentagon with no plane. I mean, everybody was saying that back when it happened. That was not uncommon to say. So for somebody to like clutch their pearls over that, that's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. It's not that deep. She condemned the Capitol violence immediately, outright. Never said anything about liking the Capitol violence. So I'm just finding a hard time seeing where Marjorie Taylor Greene is some kind of crazy person that needs to be censured. I don't really see it. What I see more than anything is that people want to make her be the next Trump, or they want to look at her as a continuation of Trump, and they want Trumpism. If that makes it work, makes any sense. Trumpism. They want Trumpism to cease. Therefore, they got to attack Marjorie Taylor Greene. Also, since Trump is not in D.C. anymore, and they can't attack him every day, although they try, they got to attack her. She's the next best thing. If we can't attack Trump every day and we can't get ratings off of him, we can't get any kind of attention off of him, let's make her be the next Trump. And also, let's just disrespect any kind of person that may identify with her. Your average, lady, 46 years old or however old she is, from Georgia, average American, let's go ahead and attack her. She's not part of the club. She's not part of the cool kids crowd. Therefore, we're going to attack her. And now they're going to have a vote on her future in Congress. And the funny part about that is that they say if you want to talk about the election and how things weren't really right and you might want to see things go a different way, then that means you're inciting violence. And anybody that died at the Capitol is your fault because you were pushing quote unquote baseless conspiracy theories, like saying, hey, let's look into what happened with the machines and some of the absentee. Look into it to see, investigate to see what happens. If you say that, that means that you're somehow some kind of insurrectionist, right? But then they on Capitol Hill are having a review about her future, Taylor Greene's future. Okay, you can review her future in a way to take committees away from her, maybe even force her out of Congress. And that's totally fine. That's well within your right to do that. Not her constituents, not anybody that voted for her, not anybody in Georgia, everybody in D.C. on Capitol Hill. Okay, have them review Marjorie Taylor Greene's record or what she's done and then see what you're going to do with her. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But if I say, as a regular normie, a peon, a pawn on the chessboard, if I say, hey, it looks kind of weird with some of these absentee ballots. Oh, insurrectionists, Q9, go to jail, Gitmo, call the FBI. That's what's going on. It's crazy. This is why sometimes I'm like, politics can be dumb. It can be so dumb. They do whatever they want. They do exactly what they accuse us of doing. If we do what they do, then it's wrong. If they do whatever they want to do, then it's fine. It's like the whole thing with the stock market. You got some of these big hedge funds, doing all types of, illegitimate shorting. Shorting is part of the stock market, and it's a natural part of the stock market. But when you write 100-page reports on how bad a company is and, how their stock will never go up, and you do things to intentionally drive their price down so you can make money. And then when the price goes down, they get hammered. They can't raise capital. They're forced out of business because of the shorting. That's fine. That's all part of the game. But if a regular normie capitalizes on that, what you're doing, what you like, you're trying to kill the company. A normie comes in and capitalizes on what you're trying to do to the company. Oh, they're wrong. Let's get the SEC involved. Let's get the government involved. These guys are crazy. They hate rich people, and this is BS. It's like, nah, we're playing the game. The game is not just for you. One thing about the internet, which is really good, it's a double-edged sword, I would say, because there's a lot of false things on the internet, but a lot of good things can happen. You can kind of even the playing field with the internet. It's ease of access. Information is easily disseminated with very smart people giving you the information. You have access to the market. You got free trades. It's beautiful. These things are not available even 15 years ago. Even with the internet still around, you did not have your smartphone in your hand. You could just push a button and you got stocks instantly. So the playing field is being leveled, and the people that are the establishment don't like that too much. They don't like they want to have this thing be for them. It's kind of an insider only thing. Like I said in my video about GameStop and all of that, when I mean I'm talking about the hedge funds and some of the big guys in trading. They behave as the insiders. They don't want us as the outsiders invade on their territory. So they're going to expand insider trading to include them and make it legal and ban outsider trading, ban the so-called retail investor, meaning regular people like you and me. So yeah, this whole thing with the politics and whatnot is dumb. Do as I say, never as I do. That's how the establishment is. That's how the political left is, and some on the political right. Not very many. So when people say, politics don't matter, why would you vote? It still matters to a certain extent. Locally, it matters a lot. I mean, I was watching this video of a guy riding through different neighborhoods in the country. Oakland is looking like, man, it's looking like Bangladesh mixed with Iraq after rocket fire. I'm talking about like third world country, like bombed out civil war, third world country, but no war. Just husks of buildings, trash, filth, tents, drugs, doo-doo, whatever, all over the place. It's terrible. I was shocked when I saw California and some of the left coast recently in pictures. I was totally shocked. Because I knew about California when I was a kid. I got family out there. I never heard stories of people living in tents and just living in filth like that. I figured it wouldn't be as bad as the East Coast. It's 10 times worse than the East Coast, but that's a different story. So thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, RIP to Dustin Diamond, a.k.a. Screech from Saved by the Bell. He was 44 years old. So yeah, RIP to him. Yeah, RP to everybody that passed. I think Cicely Tyson as well, 96, 97, something like that. Yeah, so RP to them. What else we got going on? Oh, Miss Circleback, Jen Psaki. Now, I know you guys have seen Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary. She's been talking about, I'll circle back to you on that. I had to get back to you on that. I'll circle back to you on that when she's asked pretty much any question. She answers some questions, but she does not answer quite a few more questions than that. So it's been revealed that some of the reporters, if not all the reporters that go into the White House press briefing room, get screened before they go in there, allegedly. This is coming from the Daily Beast. Now, my question is this. If you screen the reporters before they go into the press room, then why is Jen Psaki not prepared to answer the question? If they already know what the questions are going to be before the press conference, she should be ready to answer the question. Circle back. Why? You had time to research the answers to the questions you being asked right now. You know, it's certain things that are hot button issues you're going to get asked about regardless. Like, let's say, for example, you got this whole thing with the kids in the cage. I'll get to the whole thing with the kids in the cages. But let's just say that happens, right? Okay, you got Joe Biden building a facility for 700 so-called migrant kids at the border. It's, putting more kids in the cages. So you got to be prepared to be asked that question, and you got to have an answer. If you totally just don't have anything and you say, I'm going to circle back in a way to try and avoid the question, then it's like, okay, were you really trying to answer the question? Are you going to circle back and get back to me on that? Or are you going to just dismiss me and brush me off? When I think about the Trump administration, if this were Sarah Huckabee Sanders or Kelly McEnany, the reporters will not accept, I'll circle back or I'll get back to you. They're going to hammer the question. They're going to keep hammering and hammering and hammering and screaming and hollering and cussing and fussing. But with Joe Biden, they just let it go. So it's an easy way for her to evade the question because nobody's going to really press her about it. Now, behind the scenes, you got guys and girls getting mad talking about, oh, I'm frustrated. She's not answering questions. Well, keep that same energy you had with Donald Trump. When you were out there screaming and hollering and cussing and fussing at Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Kelly McEnany, Donald Trump, whoever's in there, when you were doing that, do the same thing with the Joe Biden squad. But they don't want to do that because pretty much everybody in the press corps is a liberal. At one point, I think it was John Carl that was running it. He was over at ABC or MS-13 DNC, one of the two. He's over there at one of the big alphabet letter organizations that's far leftist. So he's not going to say anything. The guy that got in there right now won't say anything because they're on the same team. They'll allow him to just do whatever. They'll allow her to do whatever because it's fine, including getting screened. Now, I was told that the White House press corps is an independent organization. The WHCA, they're an independent corps, right? They're not controlled by the White House. So when you have the Biden staffers screening them before they go into the press briefing room, it's like, what's going on here? I was told that you guys are independent and you're not run by anyone. So why are you answering to White House staff? But I mean, they can just go in and kick rocks because you're an independent organization. You don't operate at their behest, or do you? Now, if you are independent and you want to keep that facade up of being independent, then there's no purpose in you being dictated to by the administration. If that's going on, then we know you're not independent. You do whatever they tell you to do. And that points to a bigger issue with politics in general. It's all kind of connected. You got the left or some of the right in bed with the media, and they work together on certain things. We see what's happening right now with this whole border story. That ain't really going nowhere. You got Joe Biden building yet another facility to put the so-called kids in cages. The same thing he did under the Barack Obama presidency when he was the vice president for 8 years. They built the cages. What was it, my man Trump? Who built the cages, Joe? He didn't want to answer the question. We know that it was Barack Obama and Joe Biden who built the cages. We know that. Matter of fact, let me see if I can. Who built it? I'm gonna pull it up right now. Let me see if it'll play. This was perfect. This is a perfect part of the debate. And let me see if I can put it on the screen. There we go.
They did it.
We did not.
They built the cages.
Who built the cages, Joe?
Let's talk about what
Who built the cages,
Let's
Joe?
talk about what we're talking about.
Let me just tell you,
Mr.
they
President.
built cages. You know, they used to say, I built the cages. And then they had a picture in a certain newspaper. And it was a picture of these horrible cages. And they said, look at these cages. President Trump built them. And then it was determined they were built in 2014. That was him.
Sure did. That was hilarious. So what he's talking about there was when they had the picture, they had articles about how bad Trump was with the cages, right? It was articles about Trump and the cages, an orange man bad, he's racist, all this, that, and the third. And in the articles, they had pictures, like thumbnail pictures and just stock photos of the so-called kids in the cages. But the problem is that the pictures came from 2014. Like I said in my video, I'm not Mr. Albert Einstein here, but I know that if Trump got elected in November 2016, inaugurated January 2017, 2014, he could not have been the president. Therefore, that was Barack Obama who built those cages, or who was the president when that cage was operating. All right. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to search it right quick. Obama cages. Now, I don't think I'm going to find a picture. Oh, here's one of them right here. I'm going to show you two pictures. One is going to be a smoking gun that can't be denied at all. And the other one, they didn't know what was happening because they didn't even care. They didn't even care about the cages when Obama was the president. It didn't matter. It's like, so what? Here's one that they showed. Now, these are some kids in cages, right? You got a fence, and they're on the ground in the cot. It's a green cot or whatever. This is a so-called cage, right? They had this picture and quite a few articles about Trump being inhumane towards the migrants and whatnot. This is for 2014 under Barack Obama. Okay. So that's not Trump. And then here we are with another one. This is probably the best one because it shows quite a lot. Now you have a facility. I think it's in Arizona somewhere. I'm not really sure where it is. You have the so-called cages with barbed wire at the very top. You can see that at the top there. Let me get my cursor on the screen. At the top, there's barbed wire. You can see that right clear on the screen. All right. You have a sign right here that says males 16 to 17. So there is it's the kids, cages, barbed wire. Now you see some people right here in the picture. Now, this is Jay Johnson, the DHS secretary, Department of Homeland Security under Mr. Barack Obama. This is Jay Johnson right there. You can look at him dead in his face. This is from 2014. All right. So, I mean, Trump just was using the things that Obama had already built. This was part of Obama's legacy. Obama always said, my legacy, my legacy, my legacy. As part of your legacy, sir, you built the cages, you use the cages. Your man, Jay Johnson, is right there in the picture, looking dead in the camera. You know, surrounded by, this is not Photoshop. This is the real deal. All right. Jay Johnson is in quite a few pictures in the same facility with so-called kids in the cages. The media did not care about Obama doing it. That's why they used the pictures from that time. They didn't even know what the pictures were. They just thought they were finding something new. They didn't care about it at the time when it happened. And now you got Joe Biden building yet another so-called facility with cages in it. But that's fine, right? It's fine because it's the other side doing it. And, you know, these things are needed because you have people crossing the border illegally and they got to stay somewhere in the meantime. Now, what should happen is this. They stay in the facility for a minute and then they get sent back to their country of origin. Well, really, the actual thing that could happen if I was, you know, if I had my way, it'd be a wall up with a moat so you couldn't get across. But that's a different story. But if they are across and just happen to be out in the desert, meandering, looking around, you get sent back to your country of origin. All right, that's it. You get deported immediately. But what happens is they stay there for a while. Maybe they get deported, but they usually get sent to the interior of the country with a promise to go to immigration court. They never show up. Usually they don't show up. Or they get sent to a different facility. And if they get sent somewhere else, like the facility in Florida, it's beautiful. It's like a college campus. You can go out there and play soccer, tennis, PlayStation. You can get, you know, haircuts and all kind of stuff. It's like it's better than Club Fed. You're talking about something that's just beautiful, like an elementary school. But better than that, because you got toys and stuff in the school. It's like I've seen people's houses that don't look anywhere near as good as those facilities. People right now on the street, homeless, would love to live there. And they want to say, oh, they're in cages. Please, cut it out. Cut it out. You know, so, yeah. They're putting the kids in their cages, and it's fine because it's Joe Biden. And Biden can do whatever he wants. That's pretty much how that goes. But hey, I ain't too much worried about it. All right. And then, was there more there? I think that might have been something else I wanted to say. But yeah, shout out to the Biden administration. Oh, one last thing I want to say about that. The reason why they built in the cages is because they got the caravan coming from Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, etc. And one of the guys said in English, which is probably from Belize or somewhere, but not Honduras anyway. He was saying, hey, we're coming to America because Biden said we're going to be straight. We can go there and we're not going to get deported. And, you know, talking about amnesty. It's crazy how people think that if you come from Central America, you don't have TV, you don't, have the internet. Oh, they got all that down there. They're watching the news. They're on Twitter. They're on Facebook, and they're making moves. They got smartphones. They got all of that. People that are ignorant to immigration and illegal immigration don't understand that. A prime example of what they do is, some of these TV shows will portray the poor, pregnant woman coming across the border, trying to get to a hospital to deliver a baby. That's an anchor baby, number one. First of all, that's an anchor baby. But then when the anchor baby is delivered, all of a sudden, here comes a whole husband out of nowhere and a 4-year-old. A 4-year-old drinking juice like he's a grown man. So you go from one poor, destitute, pregnant woman trying to find their way to a whole family of four, just like that, overnight. It's a game they play. They know what they're doing. They're not dumb. They're not just, they know exactly what they're doing. They're playing the game. They're playing the game to win. And Joe Biden talking about amnesty for quote unquote 11 million people. Try 30 million people. There's a Harvard study that says it'd be closer to 30 million. Matter of fact, it's not Harvard. It's a Yale and MIT study. This is from 2018, so it's probably more than that right now. Put it to you like this. If they catch 400,000 at the border every year, 400,000 at the border, every year they catch them, so you're going to have many more than that get through the border. Then you have those that come on a plane and that would say their visa. 11 million people cannot be the same number since the year 2000. The number will grow as you have more illegals come over here. But here's the headline. It's kind of hard to read on my screen, but you can kind of see what it is already. Yale MIT study, 22 million, not 11 million, undocumented immigrants in the U.S., meaning illegal aliens in the U.S. And in the actual report, it says the high could be as high as 29.1 million. So low as 16.5, high as 29.1. Either way it goes, it's a lot of people. See, as high as 29.1 million. Either way it goes, it's too many people over here illegally. The people that are coming over here know what's going on. They're going to overwhelm the system. So when they arrive, it'll be a place for them to be. You could put 700 kids and probably more than that if they can't, put them anywhere else. That's the name of the game. Oh yeah, they're deep in the house. 10 illegal aliens, one house, deep. I'm talking about every car on the grass. That's just how they carry it. Or no cars, they ride deep, clown car status. That's how that goes. Walking, whatever it is. So I think what's happening right now is that those that aren't really aware of what's happening politically, they're getting a big time red pill. They thought it would be one way, but it's the other way. And they're getting that red pill. Oh, here's a little bonus video for you. Just a little bonus video. This guy is the prototype of what I talk about when I talk about the liberals, especially the white liberals that claim to be so woke and knowing what's best for the poor brown man. This guy is admitting to being a racist. I may do a video on this actually because it's kind of crazy. It's kind of just a funny video to me. So here's the guy. You see his face already. This is Ryan McCartan on TikTok, or the account that posted it is Ryan McCartan. Not sure if it's him or not. And the caption, if you can't read it, it says he admitted he's an oppressor, and if somebody, and they can't, the caption is not written by a literate person. But anyway, he admitted he's an oppressor, and if somebody is an oppressor, they're racist. He's admitted that he's a racist. Got it.
Exactly. I am the oppressor. I am racist. Oh my God, he just said he's racist. It shouldn't be this hard, you guys. If you live in America, went to school, participate in the socioeconomic structures, participate in any sort of system, education, business, entertainment, what have you, and you are white, you are indoctrinated, you are oppressive, and yes, you are racist. It is.
Let's pause right there. What he's saying is, hey, if you're here in America, you white man, you are the top of the food chain. And it's unfair. Like, what he thinks is that he's at the very top, and it's not fair. It's not right. The white supremacist thinks that he's at the very top, and it's fine. They have the exact same view. The guilty white liberal and the unashamed white supremacist are they're not much different. The key is the guilt that is present in the white liberal that is not there in the white supremacist. That's the only difference, in my humble opinion. But let's keep on going.
Is something that we have learned, either consciously or subconsciously, all of us as white Americans. And what we have to do is unlearn that. I'm trying to do the work. Part of doing the work
It's so cringy. Do the work. That's the cringiest phrase I've heard in my life.
Is pushing against dangerous narratives that are counterintuitive to that unlearning, like white people are also oppressed by racism. We're not.
I beg to differ on that one. I think the tide is turning. Like, as people they claim to get more woke and more aware of what's happening, they're getting more and more racist. You try being a straight white male, I mean, it's terrible. Like, if you're a straight white male and a Christian, you can forget about it. Nick Salmon, prime example. Nick Salmon minding his own business at the Capitol, or not my fact, Lincoln Memorial, just chilling, sitting there, waiting for his bus to come. Here comes a native guy, banging a drum in his face, all right here. He's standing there. He was getting death threats. Look at his face. He's white. He wants to fight him. He didn't do a thing. He literally stood there and got death threats. Now, if he wasn't white, would that have happened? I'm just saying.
We are the oppressors. That's the point. You should be doing the unlearning too. Do the work.
The hand clapping and the voguing and stuff like that. Are you Madonna, sir? Is this 1987? Like, what are we doing here? Cut it out, sir. And get a shirt that fits. How about that? But I digress. So, yeah. Somebody said a dork. Yeah, but yeah, the racism is real towards white males, black males too, but not in the way that the media would say. The media would say, oh, the black male's just, he's a victim, and, if he pulls a knife on a police officer, you should just not get shot, you should not get hurt. Stupid stuff like that. The racism towards black males is if we think differently than the narrative. If we dare to not be a victim and that type of thing, oh, then it's racist. If we dare to be dads in the house and just, if we just behave properly, then it's racism that comes from the white liberal. If white Christian men just exist, then they're bad and they're racist just because it's assumed that they're going to be top of society. Ignoring the Asians that are dominating everything right now, ignoring that's just kind of what's going on here. Racism is here, but it's not, number one, going to just prevent you from living. And number two, it's not what the left says it is at all, in any way, form, or fashion. Not in the least bit. All right. And the truth is, more people are not racist than are racist. In your everyday walking life, you get along with everybody. Black, white, it don't really matter because most people are good. But you got some numb nuts like that guy that was on the screen right there that thinks differently and causes problems in society. The BLM squad, the Antifa squad, they are the ones that are causing problems. The regular everyday normie is not the one causing problems. That's my humble opinion, though. The troublemakers and the gangbangers are the ones who are causing the problem. The regular everyday people aren't. All right. So did I get everything I wanted to get before I get to super chats? Oh, just real quickly talking about Kamala Harris not knowing the difference between the coal mine and a landmine. I think she wanted to say coal lands. I've never heard it referred to as coal lands. Abandoned coal lands. Never heard that before. That's something new to me. Like I say to you guys, I'm born in West Virginia. My great grandfather worked in the coal mine 20-something years in Kanawha County. So, I done seen the coal mines. I seen my great granddad's plaque for working with DuPont, all of that, DuPont Energy. So, I know what coal mining is. I never heard it referred to coal lands or abandoned coal or coal fields. I never heard coal fields or coal lands. I never heard that. I heard coal mining. That's it. But I guess she was trying to say mine lands and then twisted it and said landmines. It's like, no, it's not a landmine. That's not what it is. Yes, there's land. Yes, there's a mine, but it ain't a landmine. A landmine is like, think about something like this. It's bigger than this. This is like my camera cover. But think about something like that, but much bigger. Probably about 4x this right here. And you put it, under the surface, shallow enough to where if there's pressure from the surface, it can be felt by the mine and it'll explode. That's a landmine. This ain't no coal mine right here at all. So I'm not really sure where that would go. Some say it was an honest mistake. It wasn't really a big deal, but I think it points to a bigger problem. These people don't know what they're talking about. In Congress, they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't know the difference between Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They have no idea. These people are ignorant to what they're talking about. When you're talking about passing laws and things like that, they get the aides to go out there and do the research, but they themselves don't know anything about what they're saying. They'll pretty much do anything. Joe Biden is a prime example. This man has signed 1 million executive orders in a week. Do you think he's read any of them? Does he know what's in the executive orders? I've read some of them. It's legal speak in there, written by lawyers, obviously, not Joe Biden. Can he read the legal speak? Does he understand what's going on? Like, is he a lawyer? I mean, I don't think he is. And if he was, he's not been that since the 70s when he became a member of Congress in Delaware. The earliest, like 1972, when he was like 28 or 32, however old he was. So he's not going to understand what's going on. The staff writes these things for him. He signs it, and that's pretty much it. A lot of guys and girls in Congress do the same thing. People like AOC, they don't know anything. They're just there just because. They get on TV and say certain things, but at the end of the day, they don't know much. They're ignorant towards what's happening. That's Kamala Harris talking about they can get better jobs. If you don't even know what a coal mine is, how do you know what they can do after the coal mine is no longer there? You don't even know what a coal mine is. So that's the kind of ignorance that we're talking about. Minimum wage, same thing. They don't run businesses. They don't own businesses. They never pay payroll. They never pay any kind of, expense like that. How are they going to know that the minimum wage is going to be a good thing for anybody? So they don't know. They're ignorant. It's just going whatever they think the party line is and whatever they're told to say by the party. That's how that goes. So I think that if anyone wants to do a thing in government, they should have a little bit of education about it first, rather than just kind of, guessing off the seat of their pants. My flags behind me, these are, I think these are large. Let me just double check right quick. And thank you for asking. These are large. So 48 by 26, 48 wide, 26 high. Yep. And these are beautiful because the way they mount. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you one right quick. On my man's website, BHE Designs. Matter of fact, you can go to the website right now if you want to get one of those flags. I put a link in my community section. And thank y'all that bought one from the community. I appreciate y'all. I'll put it again here in the chat. It's an affiliate link as well. So it's something specific that helps me and it helps my guy know that it's working and I'm helping them get some sales. So I'll put that right here in the chat. But it fits to the wall very flush. It's like right on the wall. Has a French cleat in the back. It's beautiful. It's really a good quality American-made, handmade item. All right. I'll put that right there in the chat. And let me see. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. So that's how it fits right there on the wall. Flush. Straight to the wall. And you can see the detail, how it's carved with the stars in there. It's really, really nice. Really nice. Handmade, American, made to order. They got all kind of flags on here. They got, and I got 2 more flags coming myself. I got another order coming. So you're going to see new flags back there in a minute. And what I'm going to do in my room where I'm at, I'm going to have all 4 flags like along my whole wall that you can't see on the other side of my room. This is like a long room I'm in right now. So I have all 4 flags on the wall. And what I do is I'll just switch them out. So I may have 2 of my new flags on the wall at the same time, or one of them and then one of the older flags. I'll switch them out. Like I pretty much do it like that. And they'll all be the same size. So it all kind of just go together. All right. So yeah, that's BHE Designs if you want to get one of those. Yes, it's engraved. You can get all kind of stuff. Absolutely. Like these are engraved. The ones that are behind me, they're engraved with the stars in it. The Witty People is engraved in it. Oh yeah, they're all engraved. You have some where the Witty People is raised up off of it. You have he recently did a wavy one where it's like 3-dimensional. It's crazy. Like he could do a lot with what he got going on over there. Texas flag, they got all kind of flags you can do. They got all kind of different ones. I'm gonna show you some of the custom ones right quick, and then we get to super chats. Then we get to the calls. Okay. Let me see if I can show you the custom. Like somebody did that. That's one of the custom ones. You could do whatever. But, I prefer these. You can get this one here with like, rather than having a natural wood, it can be white. You could do whatever. Just, go to the website and figure something out. All right. So that's what that is. So, all right, super chats on deck, and then I'm gonna get to the calls. And thank y'all again for being here. If you enjoyed the content so far, please give the video a thumbs up. And this video will be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, including Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. There's a link for that in the description box below. You can also search for me on those particular platforms. Just search for ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Alrighty. Yeah, if you don't see a Texas flag, just contact them and see what you can do. See if you can get one made for yourself. It's all good. And I'm a call my man, because I know the guy that runs it. I can call him on the phone whenever I want, and we can talk about certain things. So I'll say, hey, man, we need some state flags, and do a few samples and put them on the website and see how well those do. I might get a Tennessee flag myself, actually. That's a pretty good idea. All right. Now, let's get to Super Chats. Shout out to Apu for a few Super Chats, who says, Fox News reported that Maxine Waters paid her daughter $250,000 in consulting fees for recent election, over $1 million in 17 years. Thoughts, ABL? That's the game. That's how they play. A lot of consulting fees. You got guys paying themselves consulting fees, quote unquote, in futile races. The whole point of running is just to get the money. It's a scam. It's a lot of guys that do that. It's kind of a loophole. It's scummy and it's kind of gross, but they do it. That's just what they do. He also says John Kerry riding private jets to government business. Thoughts? Yeah, I saw that. So Mr. Climate Change, trying to be the new Al Gore, John Kerry, a fake Al Gore, married to the ketchup lady, riding private jets to business meetings. It's like, sir, if you really want to be about it, how about you go on a rowboat? How about you ride a bike, get in a car or something? Don't have no big carbon emitting private plane to get to your destination. But they all do that. Al Gore, same thing. Al Gore, you got this big compound using all kind of energy. Your natural gas bill is probably higher than most average people's mortgage payments. But you want to talk about, saving electricity, saving gas, carbon, please cut it out. They live extravagant lifestyles that are fueled by fossil fuels. And then they tell you to just be a peon and a peasant and don't even, wash your hind parts for a day because it could save water. You understand? But I digress. ABL, what's the word on the street? Buyer's remorse on Biden. Yeah, people are really you got people that don't really care about politics that just vote because it don't even really matter. They vote just kind of like their conscience, I guess. And then you have those that they kind of regret it. I follow this account on Twitter called Biden Voters Posting Their L's, meaning people that post things that they don't like about Biden after they voted for him. And I'm seeing all kind of things. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull one up, because I saw a good one earlier. Oh, here's a great one. It's a Twitter account. It's called Biden L's, BIDENLS, Biden L's. Here's one. Now, you have this guy, boomer type guy, big gray beard, nice beard. This would be nice to the guy. And he's responding to somebody, and then Trump and Giuliani, and it says, oh man, you are just more proof that Trump's voter base is uneducated. Ha, 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 ha. That was a tweet, right? And then the next tweet is to the White House and to somebody else. Yeah, where's our money? I'm broke in Illinois. Somehow never paid my unemployment for 9 months. They pay people out of state who have jobs. Never worked in Illinois. That's why I donated money in Georgia, money I don't have. So, sir, you gave money to John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. And by the way, Act Blue recorded $45 million each for Warnock and what's the boy's name? Ossoff, for their Georgia race. $45 million for a Senate race. Anyway, this man gave money he did not have, but he's been broke all year. Talking about where my money at. Sir, do you not understand? You are a pawn. So yeah, he has buyer's remorse. To answer your question, this guy right here has some serious buyer's remorse. All right. So that's what that is. It's a lot of guys like that. All right, but super chats to get back to those right quick. Yeah, I'm not. Hey, I'm not. I don't feel no ways like Hillary Clinton said. I don't feel no ways tired. I don't feel no ways tired because, hey, you want to talk about how all this that and the third. Hey man, God don't like ugly. How about that? Do right. Maybe you have better results as a result. Apu says ABL. New York white teachers accused of spirit murder of BIPOC students for asking them to hand in homework on time. Spirit murder for asking them to hand in homework in on time? That's crazy. I saw a video similar to that today or the other day where they were saying that to talk about equity and treating everyone the same is racist. If you treat everybody the same, you're racist. If you treat black kids differently, then you are not racist. And it was unironically said. They were dead serious. This was not a parody. They were dead serious. This is what they think. They think being racist is being kind. My firm be doing anti-racist training soon. Advice. Hey, man. If there's a way you can have a secret headphone in your ear to listen to that and drown out what they're saying, then I would do it, but maybe not. I would just not pay any mind, man. Don't even really bother. Just be there, kind of grin and bear it. That's all you really can do. If you got a job you need it, hey man, just grin and bear it. That's all you can do. Laura Reeves says, does anyone else miss hearing from Trump? He kept things interesting. He kept left on their toes and kept America great. Yeah, he was really great. He was really good. And now we got the media that are just pretty much lofting up underhand softballs to Biden. And this man's pretty much striking out every time. It's crazy. It's sad to see. It's really a shame. I wish we can get that kind of energy back. That's why they're trying to attack Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she is that energy that they don't want. Apu says, Doug Ripley wants to know, you're making ma'am, coffee tea mug. He wants to buy one. Another fan wants a kerfuffle merchandise. I got you on that. I will be doing that. Laura says, Newsmax is the only news outlet that has any integrity left despite their latest kerfuffle with Mike Lindell. Exactly. Thank you. I agree. OAN as well. OAN is pretty good. Thank you to Robin for continuing to be a member of the ABL squad. Get the gold star. I appreciate you. Me being here for quite a while. Thank you. Thank you to DM who says, Newsmax founder gave $1 million to the Clinton Foundation. Not surprised at all. Thank you to Adam who says, oh, you still a member of the ABL team. Adam says, keep up the good work, dude. Cheers. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. If you hear that screeching in the background, that's my tea going off. My wife is like somewhere. I'm not really sure where she is, but that tea is killing my ears. Laura says, ABL, have you heard the song The Patriot by Topher and the Marine rapper? It was censored after January 6th became back to the top, the Billboard charts. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, shout out to Topher. Yeah, I did a stream with Topher before on Brandon's channel. So, yeah, shout out to him. And shout out to Adam for the luggage donation. Thank you to Lewis from Spain who says, Apple is buying a WNBA team. It could be Apu, me, your caller Jordan, you, Tatum, Jericho, and the twins. We'll let my wife play a little. Hey, thank you for your donation. Thank you to Tyrannius who says, what's the deal with AOC? Wasn't even at the Capitol. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that. She was like, well, I wasn't in the building, but I was in a nearby building. We'll get to the bottom of that for sure. Nah, she ain't gonna smack me. It's all good. Thank you to Bear Bait who says HR 127, biggest gun control bill in history, made big news today. Okay, now what was HR 127? What was the actual content of the bill? I want to see that. Byron 8899 says, do you think there would most likely be picture challenges on dollar bills regarding wokeism, race? I mean, they can, the funny part about the whole thing of, the pictures and whatnot, it's going to be challenges because everything's being challenged. Everybody's racist. Abraham Lincoln, racist. He freed the slaves, but racist. George Washington, Abraham, everybody's racist. Everything needs to be changed. Everything's not woke enough. So it'll be challenges, of course. But the problem is people don't even really spend cash like that. for the most part. Most cash in the country is all digital. They created 1/4 of all the new money last year that's in supply. Thank you. Got my tea on deck. So, I mean, most of that money just got invented with a push of a button. They ain't print a bunch of more money. That's not even really they print some money to have liquidity in banks, I guess, but ain't no, if everybody was to go right now to get the money out of the bank, it wouldn't be possible because it's not enough physically there. All right. Loan money and stuff like that, that money don't exist. So my point behind that is saying people are just using their debit card, Apple Pay. They don't even see cash anymore. And then they're going to go to a point. The funny part is if they put Harry someone on the $20 bill and then you start seeing more, we don't take cash, debit only. I'm seeing that here and there. You might see it in the airport. You're seeing it here and there. That's going to be more and more common. Believe it or not. Okay, they're talking about trying to do crypto for currency, but we're kind of far away from that. But that's a different story. Let me see. Shout out to Daryl who says, "All power to the American people." Thank you for the emoji donation. I appreciate you, boss. All right, we got calls on deck. I'm gonna get to those in a minute, so y'all just hang tight. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me get Skype up and running. If it wants to work, that'd be great. Yeah, I mean, cash, I still use some cash, but for the most part, everything's all digital. I'm not even on the wave of using Apple Pay or Google Play yet. I see people go to a ATM machine, or not ATM machine, but a vending machine, and they get their phone and they go like that, and then they pay for it. I'm not quite there yet. I still want to be able to use something that's kind of like, just not my phone. So that's if that's happening, people using their phone to pay for stuff. I mean, cash is not really going to be the wave for a while. That's just a fact. All right, 608, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, you're speaking to Carl. I'm out of Wisconsin, and I just kind of had a question about Texas.
Okay, go ahead, go for it.
So just in the midst of everything that's happening with Georgia and a lot of the other states that the Democrats have their eyes on now, I think that Texas is the most important one to keep an eye on because looking at, the prior statistics, Mitt Romney won Texas by 17%, I believe, Trump by 9% in 2016, now only 5% in 2020. So I think that, Republicans really need to start looking at Texas and not playing around with it because that state is really going to be out of grasp really very, very fast, possibly in the next election if, they don't keep their eye on it and double down. So kind of what do you think about Texas as a Republican stronghold at the moment?
Well, okay. I'm going to tell you what's going on. Texas is having an issue with demographic shift. First thing is that the Californians moving to Texas is ruining it in a lot of different places. Austin is pretty much a Texas enclave. Then even in the cities, aside from Austin, Dallas, Houston, even San Antonio, all over the place. It's becoming... Yep. People move from they're leaving their failing liberal places, going to Texas and voting the same way they did in their previous place. And then also immigration, illegal immigration. If they do the whole amnesty thing, it's pretty much a wrap in Texas. So they're trying to make Texas turn blue through migration, through the changing the demographic. So you can't do much against that except for just moving out there yourself. Really, that's all you really can do. I mean, aside from that, that's going to be what it is. If they move out there and it's a numbers game, if they outnumber us, then what can you do? So all you really can do is move out there, and that's just pretty much it.
And you kind of even, just to kind of know too, and you even see it like with Tennessee, Nashville is a very big city. and I think they're getting like 90 people a day who are moving there. And I mean, you could almost assume that those are not all Republicans. And a lot of people, kind of like you were saying with Texas, they'll come from fleeing states like California or other fleeing states like, Washington State, and then they'll come to, Republican strongholds or places like Tennessee and Texas where there's lots of freedom, but then they forget, like, we're leaving because, our old state because of the failed policies, but they never, apply that to the next state, and they vote the same way, like you were saying.
Yeah, exactly. So Tennessee's kind of a different place because I think the main place that's growing is Nashville. But, the good part about Tennessee is that there's a lot of things in place that kind of prevent it from going in that direction. The terrain, the mountainous terrain that everybody, wants to do with that. And it's kind of the culture is not really that open to outsiders. And the thing about Nashville is it's very expensive, actually. So it's not necessarily, I guess you would call it user friendly. Like if you try to go to Williamson County, forget about it. It's pretty much a wrap because you're talking about country stars. It's very expensive out there. You got to go like to Murfreesboro and stuff like that. So there's going to be some that come here that want that kind of liberal experience, but I don't think it will be enough to overtake. But the problem with Texas is that it's so big and you get a lot of different cities all over the place that are very attractive. It's easier for them to kind of have a overflow of people because there's so much space and so much undeveloped area. That's kind of what's happening. But with Tennessee, it's not quite that same way.
Yep, and with the 20 plus million undocumented immigrants who could get amnesty, the Democrats will want to push them into the Republican stronghold communities. They won't want them in the sanctuary cities, but they'll put them in the red states in order to get the votes.
Right, exactly.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You keep it up.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Right, have a good one.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, so, Tennessee could turn, but Texas could turn. I think Texas is going to be hard to turn. But if you get this big wave of people keep coming in constantly, it could turn. Georgia, I'm surprised that Georgia took this long because Atlanta has been growing like this for years and years and years and years. It took a long time for Georgia to kind of turn, and I'm not quite sure that it did turn. I think Georgia went for Trump, didn't it, in this election? The Senate race is kind of an apparition because of all the circumstances surrounding it. But, I'm not really surprised that Georgia went that way in the Senate. All the outside money, all the Atlanta people, all the alleged fraud, all of that going on, it's just too much. All right. 209 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony.
Hello, what's going on?
Not much. Everything's going crazy right now. I'm just like, what are they doing to us?
Well, what do you mean?
The liberals, the first day he got there, he signs everything Trump did out. All these people lost their jobs. Everything's going wrong. But do you think President Trump's trying to help us? What's with this office of the former president?
Well, I think that Trump did a lot of things that you can't really take away. We got the Supreme Court justices. We had a nice economy before the virus hit, and I think a lot of people have been awakened to what's happening in the country. We're much more politically aware because before Trump, a lot of us were just kind of just voting, but not really into it. But now a lot of us are more into it. Now a lot of us are more aware, and we know that it's going to be a fight. It's not going to be just, okay, you have one thing that goes one way, and then that's it. You give up. It's going to be a fight. It's going to last years and years and years. The left, they never give up. They lost 2016. They stayed on it every day throughout the entire presidency. It was always something. We got to do the same thing because it's going to be a consistent fight.
Through hell.
They sure did, and we got to do the same thing on our side. We can't just say, oh, this happened, and that's it. Nope, we got to fight, too, and we got to be smart about it.
I agree with you. I'm 65 years old, and I'm ready to go out and fight for my country because they want to turn us into China, and I honestly think that when Obama sent that money over there to Wuhan, or however you say it, I think he was in on it. And it's something that they're all doing just to try to take control of the whole world or something. But,
yeah.
I appreciate your time. Keep up the good work. I really love you guys. you do a good show, and yeah, I do cry once in a while because it is sad.
It's all right. It's all right.
But anyway, you take care, and I hope you and your wife are still on your honeymoon, okay?
Thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
All right, I appreciate you too. Bye.
All right. Yeah, everything is going to be all right. You know, we didn't had crazies in the White House before. We had Obama for 8 years, and we still here. We still here. You know, this is going to be a never ending battle that we fight. Fighting it appropriately and legally, federales and Googles and the YouTubes and everybody else. You know, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fighting legal. I'm talking about, you know, this hedge fund stuff. I'm talking about doing things the smart way. All right. So we got some more. 208 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony.
Yes.
Hi, this is Terry. I'm calling from Boise.
All righty. Before you start, I got some noise in the background. Turn your speakers down for me, please.
Oh, I guess I should have shut you off, huh? Okay, I want to talk to you about the censorship with Facebook and Twitter. I was doing a little research today, and did you know Facebook gets $70 billion a year in revenue from vendors and advertisers?
That makes sense.
Yeah, and in June, over 1,000 vendors and advertisers put out a boycott for the month of July for Stop the Hate, that they were pulling their ads for the whole month, and that they would continue on if they didn't do something to stop the disinformation, violence from politicians, about voting, that kind of stuff. And so I went and clicked on, because I put in Facebook Stop the Hate, and I clicked on Stop the Hate, and some of the names of these companies, I was, surprised, Coke, Volkswagen, Sony, PlayStation. And I think that if we, the 74 million plus people, would boycott these companies for a while, maybe this might help in some way. I don't know if it will, but that's what I'm thinking. And if people want to go to that site and click on Stop the Hate, they can see all of these people and pick and choose who you are not going to do business with.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it definitely does make sense. I think that boycotts can be effective if they are done properly. Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's the only way we're going to be able to stand up and do something, because we're being, how do I want to say this? Censored on everything we say. You put one thing up and boom, it's gone just like that. We've lost our free speech. People are being, losing their jobs. They're not going to be hired because of all these companies and these people. And it's like, since when did we become a country where who you believe in and who you voted for and who you work for is now the detriment to you? It's not American, So anyway, that's what I wanted to bring up, because I'd like to see people maybe march on for this. And the only way we're going to do anything is hit them in the pocketbook.
That's right. Absolutely.
So anyway, so that's just what I wanted to talk about real quick. So that's it. Oh, also, in the first 3 months, Facebook removed over 10 million posts that had to do with these topics.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me, though. Yeah.
Not in the
so
least
anyway,
bit.
No, it doesn't, but it's sad, really. So I'm already taken myself off of Facebook. So, yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, and I hope you have a good night and enjoy your tea.
Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All righty. Bye-bye.
All righty. And thank you all for the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Yeah, the boycotting does work once it's done properly, for sure. Ain't no question about that. They do it all the time on the other side. So if we could do it properly, I don't see a problem with that. All right, call your line. I'm speaking to you, 617.
Hey, Anthony.
What's going on?
I saw your video about the guy from Newsmax, the pillow guy.
What about it?
I saw the video when I guess one of the well, they're not even journalists, they are entertainers from Newsmax told left the interview in the middle when the pillow guy was saying that there was election fraud with the company, with Domino. The machines were altering the votes from Trump to Biden, but this is the reality. You know that's not true, right? You know that's not true, right?
What's not true?
That's not true. That the machine, the voting machine, were alterated. That the votes from Trump to Biden. You know that's not true.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh, so do you don't know that the DOJ and the FBI, in conjunction,
I mean, how about I answered your question? I don't know anything about that. See, you talking about it.
So you just don't know.
I don't know anything about that, so I don't know. So what's your next question?
The reason that Fox News pull out of keep talking about these machines and the voting and the videos, the reason that they pull out because the DOJ got involved. You know, Bill Barr was appointed by who? Who appointed Bill Barr?
Okay, Trump. Okay, what's your point?
Okay, so the point is this is the Trump people. The Trump administration went to investigate this issue. They found zero evidence. They brought independent contractors. They brought independent accountants. They brought
the reason why Newsmax had to not allow that to happen is because they got threatened with a lawsuit. That's the only reason why they didn't say anything.
The reason that they put in a lawsuit
nothing to do with Trump or anybody like that. It's about they got threatened with a lawsuit. That's it. That's the only reason.
You have evidence. You have evidence that the government saying that that the voting machine they were not alterated. If you have the evidence from the federal government, you're gonna sue every single person that's saying otherwise.
Everybody does that. Everybody does lawsuits, even if it's frivolous. That's just how the game is. So nothing to do. I'm gonna speak. Okay. Nothing to do with Trump or anybody like that or Bill Barr. It's about the company's trying to sue you. That's it. That's the only reason. That's why.
For defamation, and false information.
It doesn't matter why. It's really irrelevant. The point is that they were trying to sue him, and that's why they did not want to talk about it on the air. Because you can talk about it. You can talk about certain things. But when a company says, hey, we're going to sue you, if you keep talking about that, then you kind of put what's in the rock and the hard place because you don't want to lose. I'm going to talk because you can't interrupt me. Don't overtalk me. Now, the whole thing is, it doesn't matter. There's all kinds of things that are said without evidence. They talk about Russia all the time. Hillary Clinton still says, oh, Russia, they took the election, although they spent years, millions of dollars and didn't find any evidence of that. And no kind of, fraud that took the election from her, but she still says it. But if there was a company that she was accusing of being involved with it, and then they were saying, hey, there was no evidence of that, then they might try to sue her. But she didn't talk about a company specifically. She was just talking about a general idea of Russia as some kind of, thing, some kind of idea taking an election from her. But if it was talking about a company, then they might try to sue her. That's the issue is the company. It's the money involved, period. But see, check it out. It's funny how you were talking the whole time. I didn't even hear you at all. So if you said anything at that time, I did not hear a word. I turned my sound back on a little while ago, and I heard you were still talking. That means you're not listening, and you were just saying whatever you wanted to say. But the funny part is nobody can hear you at all. So if you want to say anything now, you can say something.
Okay. So the DOJ and the FBI investigated. This is the Trump administration.
Look, check it out. It don't even matter if the DOJ, FBI investigated. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because they investigated the Russia thing too and found nothing. And Hillary Clinton still says that Russia stole the election. She can say that because she's not worried about Russia suing her. But if she said that about a particular company, then they would be suing her. That's the issue. It's not about just the idea of, oh, this thing was taken from me, that was taken from me, or evidence or the DOJ. That's not important at all. The point is the company, period. So that's the fact. But see, look, you were talking again, and I still can't hear you. So whatever you were saying, you can go ahead and start over again.
Then the people that went into the Capitol, yeah, you got more resources than them, right?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because I was talking and couldn't anybody hear you. You were talking.
Oh, okay, so so now you don't want. So okay.
So
you're gonna tell me that the pillow guy have more resources than the federal government to investigate this machine that they alterated.
See, you're still stuck on the whole investigation. That doesn't matter.
They didn't find any evidence.
Listen to me, sir. Sir, it doesn't matter. It's totally irrelevant. It don't matter
That's
because
why-
the whole
that's
point
why
is
this co- that's
the
why
whole
the
point
news
is
media,
that
they fully-
the company is the one that is talking about suing. That's it. So we've kind of belabored that point and beat it to death. You can move on with your next point, or you can get off the line.
Fox News.
What?
That's what when Sean Hannity talks on the radio, right, on the TV, on Fox News, Tucker Carlson, George Janine.
What are we
they
talking
say
about?
this is my
Sir, what are
opinion.
we talking about?
Because they know if they say this is a fact, they're going to get sued. And then if you look at what Fox News said, the responsibility, what they say, is not the responsibility of the TV station, it's their responsibility.
What?
Because they don't want to be reliable.
What do you say? Say that
for
one more
any
time.
nonsense that these people talk every day.
Sir, I did not hear you. Say that one more time.
Okay, so you keep putting me on hold because
You were not on hold. You just were not, and you were not speaking very clearly. So say that one more time in a clear way.
Okay, so that's the reason that Fox News, they say.
What's the reason?
If you look at the letters underneath.
What is the
they say, "We are
reason,
not
sir?"
responsible." Huh?
What is the reason?
What is the reason? Because they don't. Those are opinion shows. Those are not shows in base of facts. These are opinion shows. They could say, "Hey, I think Trump won because he was up 200,000 votes, and how come he lost?"
So what is your point?
They start creating all
What's
these
your point?
conspiracy theories, but they don't have any evidence to back it up.
What's your
If
point?
the federal government find no proof, I don't believe they have the evidence to find proof. Where they're gonna get the infrastructure, and they have to pay.
Okay, all right. You're
they
not
have to
getting
pay
to
the
your point. So
investigators,
you're
they
not
have
getting to your
pay-
point. So you have a good night. Like, what are you trying to say? So basically, to translate some of that, he was just trying to say that there was no evidence as far as any kind of voter fraud, and I guess that was it. I'm not really sure what else he was trying to say. I was trying to get him to say like what his point was, but he wasn't really getting there. But it doesn't matter if there was an investigation and didn't find anything. It doesn't matter because the same thing can be said about Russia. They had a whole investigation. What did they find? Nothing. Did Trump collude with the Russians in the 2016 election? No, he didn't. But Hillary Clinton still says that Russia did it and Trump was involved and he did it and he stole it. Stacey Abrams, same thing. I won the election in 2018. Brian Kemp stole it from me and he was doing this. No evidence, but they do that all the time. The difference now is that you had an actual company involved. It's not just public, some government or a person. You got a company. And they're like, hey, man, we out here getting money. You in the way of this money, so we're going to sue. That's the issue, period. Let's get to the next call. 908, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, who is this?
Hey, this is ABL. What's going on? Who am I speaking to?
Oh my God. I'm live on YouTube with over 1,000 people watching. That's incredible. I'm actually watching. Okay, so my question is, I basically have a small channel and I post videos like showing truth. So I want to, be like you, be a channel, upload videos, make sure people know what's going on. And I know I'm a moderate guy. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm in the middle of both sides. I always try to see, both sides of the argument. And a lot of what I notice is that half of the media kind of shows the extremes. So Fox News' depiction of liberals is not the depiction of most liberals, just as CNN's depiction of conservatives is not how most conservatives are. So both sides sort of select and choose who what they want to believe. I think that the loudest voices are shown on the news, right? So CNN will obviously show the most insane Trump supporter to try and get people to believe that all Trump supporters are bad. And Fox News will show a liberal who, I don't know, murdered someone because they were a Trump supporter to get people to believe that, all liberals are like that. But I think most people are not that extreme. I think a lot of people sort of don't realize that both sides, that is news stations on both sides, kind of stretch the truths to get people to listen. Do you think that's true?
Well, I'm not really sure. about. I'm not really sure about. I think one thing that well, Fox News is clearly they're conservative, so they have the conservative bias. But I'm not sure about stretching the truth. Now, CNN, they do that. They'll stretch the truth all the way. Now, as far as ABC or CBS, not so much. They have the liberal bias, but it's not so much truth stretching, but they do have a liberal bias. So a lot of times, whatever they say just comes from their point of view, how they see things. But CNN has been caught several times just outright lying and having to apologize for their lies. But Fox News, not so much. Or, I think there's extremes when we're talking about networks, but I think every network has their bias. So I will say that.
Yeah, that's true. So I kind of post things on my channel too, but how do I, for example, if I want to have a debate with you or like to get in contact with you to have more videos, to host more discussions on certain things, would that be possible, or are you sort of too busy? Do I just wait till I'm big enough to, actually, get on Zoom meetings and sort of educate people, because I'm more towards the middle than you are? I think it's difficult to understand what people say when they, sort of scream it. So like most liberals who you've encountered, I assume, have, not really let you speak, have ignored what you say. So I try to sort of act as a middleman between both sides to show, because a lot of people will refuse to, a lot of people have a hard time understanding the other side when they don't understand what they're saying. So I try to, try to explain it better. And I think that, a plane can't fly unless both wings are intact. So if both wings need to work together to get the plane off the ground. And as Abraham Lincoln once said, a house divided cannot stand. So I think I don't really care if anyone is Democrat or Republican. The way things are headed, I think we have to sort of, I think a lot of people don't realize what they say or do. A lot of people with good intentions obviously a lot of people with good intentions sometimes don't do exactly what they're trying to accomplish. And I think that a lot of people who try to say stuff to you, like the guy who was on the call before, he sort of was yelling. So I understand how it's difficult for you to understand what they're saying when they sort of jumble their words and just act like you're the villain. I think both sides have people who are, bad people, and both sides have people who are good people. And I try to act as a mediator between the good people so that they can understand each other. Because I don't think progress can be made unless both sides work to understand each other. I think the only way you can win a debate is if you learn things and you get the other person to learn what you're saying. I think a lot of people try harder to prove themselves right than get the other person to listen. And I think a lot of people don't realize the best way to communicate their own thoughts. So I think that I try to be the person who can help them, and I don't really, I don't really have a lot of people who listen to me, and I'm glad I can be on the stream so that, I can have people listen finally. My channel name is Dog's Dream 2. That is a selfish self-promotion right there.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. But one thing I'm going to say, if you want to have this, mediator type thing going on, you got to be able to focus your thoughts, because you kind of you have a lot of ideas, a lot of things you want to say, but focus your thoughts in a singular way and be able to express yourself that way. You'll be able to get more that will listen to you, because if you have a lot of different things that's going on, it's hard to focus for somebody that, they might not know you. They don't know your personality. They don't know what you're thinking. So have really singular focused thoughts. Get it out that way. You have more success. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, well, I guess I kind of have to stop now. I have to let someone else talk, but,
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Is there any other way to contact you personally?
Just go to my website. I have my email on there. That's probably the best way. I am very busy, yes, but that's the best way you can reach me. So thank you for your call.
Oh, well, have a great evening.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, man, just got to focus. Is all. Because I could tell he has a lot of things on his mind, a lot of things he wants to get out at once, but you got to focus it singularly. And some things that aren't necessary to say to convey your point, you can just leave out. You know, like that's what I try to do. I try to keep things short, sweet, straight to the point, so I don't lose you. You know, that's just what it is. So get to the next one. The number to call 434-658-1220. 631, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, is this Anthony?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how are you tonight?
Doing pretty good. Can't complain about yourself.
Really good, because I just wanted to say, do you like any kind of rap or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I was watching Brandon Tatum 2 days ago, and ever since 2 days ago, he's been playing this one song, and it's a white rapper called what the heck is it?
Hold on, hold on. I got noise in the background. Turn your speakers down for me, please.
It is. It's down low. Okay, I turned it off. Anyway, his name is Tom McDonald, and it's called Fake Woke.
Yeah, I saw the thumbnail for that video. I didn't watch it yet, but I did see his thumbnail.
You gotta watch it.
I gotta watch it.
It's gonna make you feel so good. It's about what the Democrats are doing to us. How they're dividing us. Everything. He hits on everything. You have to keep stopping because he spits real fast, you know, in the song. But you're gonna love that song. That's how he's got facts. They're all facts in that whole rap song. But like I said, you're gonna have to keep stopping, comprehending what he's saying. It's awesome. You're gonna love it. And another song called White Boy. I recommend too, because that sounds controversial, but it's not at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out for sure. I definitely look at it.
Definitely look at it. And did you see? You're talking about Marjorie Greene.
Yeah.
I think that she is very brave to be doing what she's doing.
I like her. People talking about she's crazy.
I love her.
I do too.
I hope she gets what she's, trying to do for us. But she's going to have an uphill battle, I'll tell you.
Absolutely.
These crazy Democrats. But really, watch these two rap songs. You got to, like I said, the first one, you're going to have to keep stopping and comprehend it, and then go. And you'll be like, that was amazing. Because everybody's listening to it. The first day, he had 1.7 million viewers.
Wow.
On that song. Yeah. And I'm so glad, because it woke a lot of people up.
Right.
I was watching it all day, every channel, people were watching it on YouTube. And they were like, wow, I didn't even think of that, like with Thanksgiving and, everything. Children, what they're doing to dividing our nation, and BLM and all that crap, There's no curse words in it at all, but he's going to look like a crazy guy, crazy white rapper with braids and stuff, but he's not. He's just a nice guy, but he's talking all facts. You're going to love it. It's uplifting.
Well, I'll check it out for sure. Absolutely. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, do it. Maybe you can play it one night.
No doubt. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, too. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, I did see that thumbnail. I think I've seen him before, too. What's his name? Tom McDonald. I think I've seen him before, but I didn't listen to the song, but I will check that out for sure. All righty. Let's go. 404, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 404 got cold feet, I suppose. Let me go to the next one. 917, hello.
Yeah, do it.
Caller, can you hear me? Yes.
Hi, is this Anthony Brian Logan?
Yes, it is. Before you go any further, I have some noise in the background. Turn your speakers down for me, please.
Yeah, I shut them down. Thank you for taking my call. Anthony, I've been watching you for a couple of years now, I believe. Before I go on, I want to ask your permission to talk about something that is not even being talked about tonight. It has been talked about before, but it's not in the discussion tonight, and I don't want to go off topic if you don't want me to. So you just tell me if I can go off topic.
Well, go ahead. Go for it.
All right. Well, let me just tell you that I have a story, and I know everybody has a story. Okay, we've all been through stuff, and I happen to be. Oh my God, how old am I? I'm 62. Okay, and I grew up on the heels. I went to school as a young child on the heels of the civil rights movement. Okay, and because of that, and because I and I don't want to associate, being poor with being black, okay, but I was poor. So I didn't grow up in the best areas, they were troubled areas. And I think I even understood it as a young child. But, of course, there were certain things that I didn't understand. But I do have a story, and I want people to hear my story, that I'm a white girl, okay, who was born into a poor family, who struggled, and who grew up in an area where I was like, I don't know, maybe one out of the 5 people in my school who were white, and the rest were African American or, Spanish or whatever. But they weren't white, okay? Most people were either black or Hispanic. And I suffered a lot of persecution, and I'm not crying about that. I mean, I certainly have learned a lot from that, and I learned to know what it's like to be downtrodden and all that stuff. Where my resentment comes in is I'm tired of being called like a white supremacist and a racist and all that other stuff, which I'm so not, because I know exactly what it's like to be in that position. When I was a very young child, I actually ended up in Harlem in a welfare hotel, and I'd go outside to try and collect bottles and cans to eat, to get a loaf of bread or whatever it was. Now, this was a long time ago. If I know you're younger than I am, and you didn't grow up in this time, and but if you can look back in history, I know you're well educated, so you know history. At this time, it was a very tumultuous time. There was a lot of things going on in the civil rights movement, and there was a lot of hatred at that time directed toward anybody who was white. And I guess I kind of resent all the accusations of me being, a white supremacist when, oh my God, how could I had no white supremacy at that time. No one said, oh, you're collecting cans and bottles and you're living in Harlem and, let me help you because you're white. No one ever said that, okay? I never had that kind of privilege. And I just want people to know, everybody, white and black, I want them to know that that is such a stereotypical lie that white people are supreme. I never believed that, and I even in all the poverty that I suffered as a young child, my parents never taught me that stuff. They were like, "Oh, we're just like everybody else. In fact, we're less because we're poor." Well, that's all. That's all I wanted to say. I'm just very moved by, everything that's going on today, and I'm kind of disgusted with the accusations, and I don't want anyone looking at me like I'm a white supremacist because I'm white.
Well, that was very good. That was very good. And I come from a lot of these low income areas, and you would see like the occasional white person, and it was just like they didn't get any special treatment. It didn't have any kind of. It was really hard for them because they were the odd man out. So it was like, where's the white supremacy at? I just, that's why this whole thing about white supremacy and stuff like that, to me, it doesn't make any sense. As a child growing up, I just never even, saw that. I didn't see anybody harm any. It just wasn't that way. I think what's going on now, people are feeling guilty because maybe they have success, maybe they're white. And you got black folks who are the same way. They have success and they're white. And they want to find somebody to try to blame, somebody to try to look at as a source of any kind of problem in their life. If anything happens and they want to blame somebody, just, like I always joke around, blame the white man. It's really just a shame that it's really a shame that it's like that. But I think people on the bright side, I think people are waking up to this farce and to this lie, and they're starting to go in a different direction, and we're starting to get more unity. The left, they don't want unity because that goes against their whole thing. They want disunity. They want to do the whole divide and conquer thing. But on our side, we're all about unity and bringing things together. So that's the bright side.
Yes, and I have hope for that, because I know I have, white friends. I'm not going to use that that stereotypical comment that, oh, I have plenty of black friends. I don't have plenty of black friends. I have black church members who, we discuss it a little bit, not too much, because, there's a limit to how much you can say, and I understand that. But I have had this one person from my school who reached out to me when I was, very young in the 60s. It was the late 60s. And these were the worst of times, and I'm sure you know that. And she had reached out to me, and she was like, don't you remember me? I'm so-and-so. And she was African-American. And I said to her, I remembered her. But it was so painful when she had approached me because I was, really caught off guard. And I said, no, I don't. I think I blocked that out, And then she kind of looked at me like she didn't understand what I meant, but I kind of knew later what I meant. I didn't want to remember that horrible time.
Yeah.
It was terrible for me. But I did understand in all the pain and the suffering that I experienced as an individual, not as a whole race, just as an individual. I remember thinking, I understand where this is coming from, but I'm a little kid. How am I supposed to, fix any of this or change it or, really comprehend it and make it work for me? But let me just tell you something. It did work for me in many ways because I know what it's like to be the downtrodden and the oppressed. And I'm not saying all blacks are downtrodden and oppressed. I know that's not true, especially today. No,
I mean, I know what you mean. Like you understand you understand what it's like to have the experience that they say that you can't have because you're white.
Yes, right.
I do understand that 100%. Hey, this has been a great call. I don't mean to cut you off here, but I have a few more calls on the line.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I know you got other calls. In fact, it took me a while to get through to you. Thank you, Anthony, for all that you do. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. I appreciate
That's
you.
all I have to say. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Wow, that's a good call. Yeah, I mean, I hear that a lot, and I saw it, coming up, living in Virginia, living in the majority black area. Like, I lived in Virginia. I lived in Portsmouth when I was younger, when I was like a kid. And Portsmouth, if you don't know about Portsmouth, it's a majority black city with 125,000 people. It's a pretty sizable city to be majority black. Like 55, 60% black, 125,000 people. It's Chocolate City. It's like DC or something like that. It's a lot of black folks. And in my neighborhoods I grew up in, for you to even be a light-skinned person was rare, let alone a white person. Like, when I was a kid, I looked like everybody looked just like me. So this whole, I hear now as I get to be an adult, dark skin versus light skin. I never even heard about that when I was a kid because everybody looked like me. If you saw a light-skinned person, it was like, oh, you mixed, you got a white mom or something. And then it'd be the random white person every now and again. They'd be the odd man out. I remember seeing, white kids get beat up just for being white. That was normal. I'm not saying I'm proud of it. I'm just saying that's what you would see. Living in the area like that is what you would see. So this whole thing about white supremacy, I never understood that whole concept because it's like the boy right here get beat up every day. He's supreme. How's it make any sense? And it was never anybody coming to the neighborhood harassing us that was white. The police, you in the black city is mostly black cops. So that idea, it never made sense to me. So when I see people talk about that now, I look into what they got going on with themselves. Are they hustling? Are they race hustling? Like, what's happening here? And a lot of people that talk about white supremacy all the time, a lot of them come from, nice households, mommy and daddy, picket fence, 2 dogs and the car and the whole thing. They don't come from where I come from, where my guys come from. They don't come from that kind of environment. Like I said, I'm not glorifying it. I'm just giving the reality. Look into some of these guys, some of these authors, quote unquote authors writing about this stuff. Look into their background and see where they come from. Either they're a grifter or they're just a liar. But I digress. Let's get to the next call. 412, you can line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name's Heather.
All righty, what's going on?
Hi, I love your show, by the way. I'm calling from Pennsylvania. I just wanted to maybe get some advice from you, some guidance. I'm only 25, and I was huge for Trump. I voted for him when I was 20, when I was 24, and when he lost, I was pretty upset about it because I know how corrupt all of the Democrats are.
Hold on, caller. You kind of like going in and out. Like, are you on speaker or something?
No, let me get closer to the phone. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. I'm 25 years old, and I'm kind of at a loss with worrying about the future because I know how corrupt Democrats are, and it's also hard I still feel pretty young, and it's kind of disheartening to see so many people my age being so far left and crazy, and I just feel really down about it sometimes and discouraged. So I was wondering if you could maybe give me some advice on how to stay positive through all this craziness.
Okay, now what state are you in?
I'm in Pennsylvania, and it was crazy here during the election because we were one of those key states.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So I mean, one thing I'm gonna say is that especially in your age group, I'm about 10 years or so older than you. So in your age group, you guys are a lot more aware of what's happening politically. And that could be, I guess, positive and negative because you have those that are just, ridiculous and crazy with politics. And you also have those that are really knowledgeable and they're going in the right direction. I mean that literally and figuratively, going in the right as far as, being conservative and also just in the right direction just because it's the correct thing to do. So you have that going on. My advice would be to find maybe a peer group of people that kind of feel, the same way you do. They kind of have similar, interests that you do. And maybe if you're in the area where it's kind of crazy, like if you're in the city or something, like if you're in Philly or something, or you're in Pittsburgh, one of these crazy, like a liberal center, you might want to leave from that area and go to a more conservative, friendly place. A change of environment could do wonders. I was in Virginia. It's okay, but it's just a kind of a weird space to be in when you are conservative sometimes. So now I'm in a more conservative place. It's cool. Everybody's nice. I got the flag on my truck. People are waving, honking the horn. It's all love. So change of environment could do good. Also a different peer group, and also just understanding the fact that, it's not over. You got people that are kind of crazy. They're kind of liberal, but under Joe Biden, when things go wrong, when things fall apart, it's going to be a red pill because my red pill came during Obama. I was kind of crazy and out there too for a minute as I'm kind of getting into, I was right around your age, matter of fact. I was kind of getting into the crazy stuff because I just was kind of lost at that particular point in my life, not really knowing what's happening with politics all the way. And then Obama came in and things didn't really go the way I anticipated. I'm like, okay, hope and change. I don't see the hope and change. And then that's when it kicked in. A lot of my friends went through the same thing. So you may be experiencing that right now. So I wouldn't give up hope. I think that people, if they're crazy right now, they may change. And if you can't wait for that, you want to get away from that, you got the ability to get up and move around if possible, or find a different peer group to be around just to have, that camaraderie of those that are similar to you.
Yeah. Luckily, my whole family were all for Trump. Some of my friends, too, are for Trump, but I did lose one of my, I guess, I shouldn't say closest friends, but she totally got rid of me on social media. Didn't say anything to me. She just completely got rid of me once she found out that I was, on the red side. But I'm like, you know what? It happens. I guess, someone just drops you like that, then they're not really a true friend to begin with.
I went through the same thing, losing friends, but, what I lost is nothing compared to what I gained just by being myself and being true to myself. I can't be around somebody where I got to walk on eggshells. I can't be myself and I got to be sensitive. Nah, I'm going to be me. And the person that's gone, that's okay. That's dead weight anyway, because when things get tough, are they going to be there for you? I got friends that if they start shooting, they're going to jump up and get their gun and start shooting with me if I need to. I got those kind of friends. So if they're going to leave me based on the political thing, they're not going to be there when I really need them. That's not a friend. That's just a person that just happens to be around you. That's not a true friend. So you'll be able to identify your real friends in a time like this. So it's actually a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think people were so unhinged that they would totally get rid of people over politics. Like, I know people who lost family members over this stuff, and I think it's so sad.
Hey, you know what? It's better now than in crunch time when it really matters.
Yeah, that's true. And I was honestly shocked that he didn't win Pennsylvania, because I'm a little bit south of Pittsburgh, and I'm kind of in like a more rural area, so we had Trump signs everywhere. But obviously I know Philly and Pittsburgh are the main hub where all the votes are. So I still think he won our state, but I can't say anything because that's a conspiracy theory. So
right.
I'll try to stay positive.
Yeah, stay positive. You know, all hope ain't lost. We still, we got plenty of time. You know, life is long and things change. You know, it goes through cycles. You know, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep being yourself, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking my call. I'm so happy to talk to you. I love your channel.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, ABL. Have a good night.
Same to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, life is long. You're going to have changes, ups and downs. It is what it is. And like I was saying, it's better to lose friends right now over a trivial thing like politics than it would be when it really matters. Like I said, I got friends right now. If I call them and say, hey, I need you to go do X, Y, and Z, they're going to do X, Y, and Z. And I don't got to say no more than that. You already know what time it is. And regardless, it don't matter if I'm Trump supporter. It don't matter. They're going to have my back regardless. And I'm the same way for them. That's a friend. A friend is going to be like, oh, you support Trump, I'm going to drop you. That ain't no friend. That's just an acquaintance at best or enemy at worst. But that's a different story, and I digress. Alrighty. Valentine, what's going on?
Anthony, talk to me, brother. How you feeling?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
All right. Breaking news. Stacey Abrams nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Did you know about that?
I saw that. I was like, really, Stacey Abrams? They're just giving them out to anybody at this particular point.
I actually, believe it or not, I tried Googling it, and Google said when I put what was the reason for Stacey Abrams getting nominated, Google was like, we're going to have to circle back on that. They don't know. I think they give it to her for like her activism towards the vote and blah blah blah. You know how they go. But it was a socialist. I think it was a socialist member of parliament in Europe that gave it to her. So socialists they band together. That's one thing I give to socialists. Those people band together, man.
They sure do.
Listen, and you know who else got it? Obviously, BLM got nominated. Jared Kushner and his aide got nominated, and Mr. Donnie Boy got nominated again. Trump got nominated again for a Nobel Peace Prize. Obviously, for the person that nominated him said that president that never the first president in 30 years that never started a war. Incredible, right? He deserves it, I think, in my opinion. But let me ask you this, man. Former NFL player Marcellus Wiley suggested a third category for sports, meaning for transgender. He actually tweeted. Oh. He was brave enough to tweet CC Tefler. You know CC Tefler, right?
The transgender track star.
The runner, yeah, exactly. The runner that was Craig Tefler was ranked like the last couple of years was ranked like 300, 400th in the nation. And when he transitions, he automatically becomes number one, right? Like how did that happen, right? They don't get it. But he's suggesting a third category for sports. I think that's the solution. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think so because, I mean, really, what I would say, if I could be a king and if I could just rule by fiat, I would say, you know what? If you're born a male, compete with the males. But to compromise, I'd be like, all right, you want to compete with the males and you should not compete with the females. So have your own category and just and compete there so you're not unfair to anybody and you're still able to be you fully.
I think, to be honest, I think we need two more categories, meaning a place where trans males compete, right?
Yes.
So they're talking about women that are that say that they're men, and then trans females, another one separately, because if not, then you're going to be in the same thing as in the first place. But I think Marcellus Wiley is going on the right track. And I think, I mean, if you say that, like, I'm guessing when you say something like that, then they're gonna say, "Oh no, that's still transphobic if you don't allow them to compete with biological girls." But it's. I mean, but there is a biological difference, and everybody knows that. American Girl released a doll. You know about the brand American Doll?
No.
I didn't even know about them either, but I guess they're like a real collectible type of doll. They released a doll. It's called American Girl. They do like a one-off type of collector's edition. This even grown women are collecting this stuff. Named Kira, and this is the first doll that has an LGBT background. She goes to Australia supposedly, where she has some her aunt is in a lesbian relationship. This is marketed for 8 to 10-year-olds. Good or wrong, in your opinion?
Terrible. Because when you got kids that young, that should not be what you market to them. You're talking about sexuality, because let's just cut straight to the chase. When you're talking about sexuality, you're talking about sex. You shouldn't be talking about sex to children. Period.
Plain and simple. And they don't understand that when you're talking about like I like this person, or like, you are talking about a sexual attraction. Like, how do you explain that? And why should you even have to explain that to a 8 to 10-year-old? Like, why? But this is the world we live in 2020 in 2021, and they just don't care, man. It's just insanity. But you can't say nothing out these days. You know how it is, Anthony. And to leave you, man, you don't talk too much about this topic here on the channel. The third stimulus, or the stimulus checks. Do you think that's good? We're talking about $1,400 for everyone. Do you think that's good, or is that just giving out free money?
I mean, I think that the stimulus, I think it's time for the country just to reopen.
Yeah.
I understand some people where the government forced them to close down and they couldn't work. That's one thing I do understand. So I understand the stimulus from that point of view, but at the same time, the solution is just to get back to work, because they want to keep doing this over and over again. It's like, all right, we didn't already spend all this money. What do we actually get? Let's get back to work and make the money that way, because we keep printing on this money. At a certain point, the dollar will be just totally worthless, because you've been printing all the money, and it's like you got this crazy money supply. What is a dollar anymore? It's like a penny.
Inflation. You know what they're doing in Venezuela, man? Inflation at the border. The bolivar is the currency over there. It got so devalued that they're making purses out of bills, bro.
Wow.
Purses out of bills. That's how devalued it got. And that's it, Anthony. So thank you, man, and God bless, and keep doing what you're doing, man. And let's keep fighting the good fight. God bless, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Peace. Bye.
All right, shout out to my man, Valentine Show. Excellent call. You can find him right here on the YouTube's The Valentine Show. But yeah, leave them kids alone. That's just plain and simple. Leave the kids alone. You know, you got little babies out here. Don't be introducing sex to them. Let them be kids, and just have that be that. Don't do anything weird. That's just really the long and short of that one. But if you want to get in through Skype, there's an email for that in the description box below. You can add me on that. We can go ahead and get rocking and rolling that way. All righty, Mixed Girl POV.
Hey, hi ABL, how's it going?
Everything's good. About yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. There was a lady a few calls back who sounded, kind of, really sad, and she was, getting sad, and I just, a word of encouragement to her and the other, and to others who are feeling kind of sad about the way things are right now. It's better days are yet to come. The sun will still shine. So I wanted to say that real quick to the lady and to the other folks. But so I have a question. Have you heard of the new 17 more ways you could be killed if you are Black in America video that features Keys and some other wannabe celebrities?
Hey, who went in now?
Alicia Keys.
Wow. No, I've not seen that one.
Oh man, you need to check it out. Yeah, so this video apparently is a follow-up to a video from a few years ago that had 23 supposed ways that African Americans are killed, living here in America. And Alicia Keys was on both of these videos, and when I saw the title about the article and stuff, you know, it totally caught my attention. I was like, I need to delve into this, and I just did a video, so I kind of wanted to, you know, see what your thoughts were. So basically, in this video, they say an action like standing, like quote, like standing in your grandmother's backyard. Then they say the name of a person, like they'll say, like they said, Stephon Clark. And when they give each of these scenarios, they're not giving any facts or anything about the cases. They just say the simple action, and then they say the name of the person. And I believe that these kind of videos are created to help, you know, divide our country along color lines, and to make us kind of hate ourselves as Americans, to hate our country and to hate our police and etc. So I was curious to know, what are your thoughts about videos, you know, that go along those kinds of lines?
You know what? I did a reaction to the first video that came out. That was some years ago. I did a reaction to
16.
Yeah, I did that. I remember that now. And you know, it's propaganda. That's all. It's just it's a victimhood thing. You know, it's like, oh, if you black, you can't do anything in the country. But you know, it's not telling the full story. It's just giving a one-sided view of what's happening in America. And I may do a reaction to that and talk about what's been happening, because Black Lives Matter didn't claim more lives than cops that were unjust. So yeah, it's propaganda, pure and simple.
Exactly. That's what I said in my video today. I was like, I believe it's propaganda, just to, like you said a few calls ago, the left, I think their main aim is to kind of divide and keep dividing, and they want people pitted against each other, pitted against politicians that don't believe like them, and pitted against our law enforcement and stuff. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, check it out. 20. Well, no, this one is, you know, 17 more ways. But you can find it on the YouTube and everything. I included a link on my video, but check it out. I would love to hear your thoughts, you know, on it. I didn't even know the first video, so this is, you know, new to me, this follow-up video. But yeah, I was like, wow. I just felt like I really needed to address it, because it really, we need to come together and stop trying to pit people against each other at the end of the day. All lives matter, baby. That's what it's all about right there.
No doubt. Absolutely.
So anyways, all right, ABL, well, thank you so much for taking my call, and God bless you, okay?
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, thanks. Bye.
All right, shout out to Mixed Girl POV. You can find her right here on the YouTubes as well. That's Mixed Girl POV right here on the YouTubes. And thank y'all again for being here. If you enjoyed what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up on the video, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. And I thank you for doing that. Let's get to the next one. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, what's up, bro, man? I just want to applaud that representative. Is her name Marjorie Taylor, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. She's like the realest Republican out right now, man. You know, her and Trump would have made a great team, because, man, I watched your video about her, and I was just like you. I didn't really pay attention to her until the media started attacking her really hard, and they're talking about taking her off of committees. Then I was like, let me look into her. And, bro, all she's doing is just calling out the Democrat hypocrisy, bro. That's all she's doing. And really, they don't like that she supports Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because she's still wearing masks, talking about stop the steal. You know, so they don't like that Trumpian type of opposition. And here comes the problem, bro. I'm not surprised at how the Democrats are treating her. The anger comes from the Republicans, bro. You know, the thing is, it's crazy how the Democrats in the media can tell the Republican Party to remove her from a committee, and they're literally debating on removing her from a committee based off what the Democrats say. And that's what really pisses me off, bro, because it's just like, why do the Republicans jump every time the Democrats tell them to? Yet when the Republicans talk about Ilhan Omar and her crazy comments on AOC or any other squad, the Democrats backed them up. It's like, what is wrong with the Republican Party? Why does Mitch McConnell have to come out and say and call her loony? You know what I'm saying? Why do you got to do that? Why do they want to be this party that's acceptable by liberals? You know what I'm saying? It's like, have they not learned? This is why it's like the media still attacks you. The Democrats call you all white supremacists. And if you're a black person or if you're some type of Latino or you're non-white, they're going to call you a sellout. So you already a hater in their eyes. Why not fight? You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy that it takes a woman. Like, you look at the men of the Republican Party, not all of them, because I have a lot of respect for Rand Paul and a few others, but you look at them and, man, bro, they just walk around with their heads down, soft-spoken, very weak, and that's why they get rolled over, bro. But yeah, man, I strongly think, bro, that we should really prop up her. I mean, what's your opinion of her so far?
I mean, I like her. You know, like I said, I didn't know much about her. And then I looked into her. I'm like, I don't see what she's saying here that's that bad. I mean, like you said, it's the whole Trump energy. They don't want that. They want to just kill all the Trump energy. They want to go back to the establishment. And she's like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to push this party forward in the right way, not going back to the swamp. So I like her.
Absolutely, bro. And one of the best things I like about her is I love how she's calling out the Democrat hypocrisy, because she's on her Twitter account, which every single Republican should be doing. But because most of them are cowards, they're not going to do it. But every single Republican should be putting out that video she has on her Twitter with the Democrats inciting violence and nothing happening to them. You know, every single Republican needs to bring up what happened to Representative Steve Scalise, where a Bernie supporter almost killed him. Yet there was no incitement to violence. Impeachment charge. What they're doing to Trump is punishment. Like I told you before, any of you who think you're going to speak out against the status quo, rather it be on the left or the right, we are going to punish you and keep you out of politics. So this is why you see the Republican Party rebelling against her, bro. But yeah, man, like I said, man, we just need to stay strong, keep electing Republicans like her. That way they can talk in one voice and really smash the Republican Party first, get rid of the rhinos, and then come after the Democrats, bro. And that's pretty much all I had to say, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Hey, I couldn't say it no better than that. That was very well said. That was perfectly said. That was right on it. Perfect. I mean, these Republicans is like, what are we doing? Where's your backbone at? Like, come on, man. Like, what do we even, and I've met some of these guys in D.C., some of the big guys, some of the like senators and whatnot. I met these guys and, they're kind of soft, just keeping all the way real. And the left, they don't care. It's like they're bullying them. It's like, come on, man, we can't do that, man. If you're going to govern and if you're going to fight for your constituents, you can't be bullied around like that, man. You got to stand up for something. Now, I understand how the left have control of so many institutions, but if you're just going to acquiesce to whatever they say, it's like, what are we doing? You got some guys like Adam Kinzinger, where's he from, Chicago, somewhere in the Midwest. You got guys like him, a so-called GOP House rep, talking about, oh, we got to impeach Trump. It's like, what are we doing? If you try to go against the Trump energy in the party, you're not going to be able to succeed. You're going to go back to just being happy losing on a national level and being the House minority leader, Senate minority leader, and having that be that. And going to these dinner parties in D.C., sipping champagne, you don't really care about your constituents. You're not really trying to fight for them. You're just caring about yourself and your career. These guys live in D.C., they have that as their career, and then they get money from these little crooked political deals. And here you got Marjorie Taylor Greene coming from Georgia off the couch at 46 years old or whatever she was doing, just a regular lady coming in there. Oh, you can't have this. You're not part of this club. You're an outsider. You got to go back to the couch in Georgia. She's like, nah, I'm going to just stand up for what I know is right. I have some views you don't agree with, and that's fine. So do you, Ilhan Omar. All about the Benjamins, all this and that. You don't want to talk about that. Some people did something. Oh, okay. Oh, that's so you want to talk about that 9/11. That's fine. But you got Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about the Pentagon plane. That's somehow a problem. So Marjorie Taylor Greene says the Pentagon plane may not have been there. That's an issue. But when Ilhan Omar says some people did something, we leave it alone. It's double standard. All right. It's 615, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 615, hello.
Anthony.
What's going on?
Anthony. It's Anthony Fauci. How you doing?
This is not Fauci. Who am I speaking to?
It's Fauci, I'm telling you. Long-time listener, first-time caller. It's Fauci. Been listening for a while. I hear you're no masker.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the mask. Not at all.
You know the mask, or it might block a droplet here and there, but you need to wear the mask.
Okay, I mean, I don't really understand why. It might just block a droplet or two. It seems like it might not really be a good. It's not really that big of a deal.
What's up, man? It's Boom Boom Boom. How are you doing?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
I couldn't do it no more. It was funny. My wife's looking at me like I'm stupid. Anyway, man, I had to give you an update on my friends, man. The red pills are rolling down the street. I'm telling you, man. People falling, tripping all over the place. The red pills are rolling, and it's funny because now they're starting to open up Nashville. They're starting to open up. They want to open up the bars and keep them open until past midnight. And now they're starting to open up all the schools and everything. But everybody that works at the schools are like, "What do you mean? What's going on? Like, we still got kids that are sick. Still, nothing's changed. Why is everything opening up all of a sudden?"
I mean, everybody knows what time it is because, the election is over with. The election is done. So, you had some people that were opening up on Inauguration Day, like instantly. They couldn't wait. They weren't trying to hide it. It's like, okay, we got Biden in there. So, mission accomplished. We got Trump out. So, we're going to open up right now. That was the whole plan from the beginning, in my humble opinion.
That, me too. I was like, you what? And I figured like immediately that it was going to happen, but it happened like super duper fast. And like a lot of people are just like, what? Like, but we're like, no, what are you talking about? We're watching it. We knew it was gonna happen. And dude, I just can't wait, man. And the people that voted for him around here are starting to see it. They're like, what? Like, what is this? Like, I'm like, no, this is it. This is what we've been talking about. We knew this was gonna happen. That it's happening, but it's happening really quick. And nothing has changed, and we knew this was going to happen. And I don't know if you heard today, I got a phone call that said that the number of deaths were going down, like big time. Even after like Saturday, like one of those Saturdays ago, were like the biggest death day ever with COVID, like the biggest day of all the deaths ever. And then the next thing you know, the vaccine is here, even though only 300 people is going to get vaccinated. I just want to make sure y'all know that. And I'm going to repeat myself, only 300 people are going to get vaccinated. It's crazy, man.
But you know what? They changed the standard for like testing, like on Inauguration Day. They changed it.
They did, didn't they?
So, you're going to have less people that test positive because they changed the standard on the 20th of January. So they're not even trying to hide it. Like, okay, we got a new president. Boom, we're going to do this. And then Amazon, they said, oh, okay, we're going to help with the vaccine plan on Inauguration Day. And Biden's plan is the exact same plan that Trump had. So it's like, okay, you want to help one person, not the other, right on Inauguration Day. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're barefaced, no mask. They're telling us what's going on right in our face.
Yep, and don't forget that Kamala Harris said on TV, I will not take this vaccine that Donald Trump had pushed out. But what did we see the other day? I saw the other day she so-called got the vaccine. Said, did you stick it in yet? Come on, man. And then, but she said it. But now they're all doing it. It's like Trump never existed, and that's exactly how they're trying to make it look like Trump never even existed. It's insane, man. But we knew it was gonna happen. I remember the very first phone call when I called you. We talked about this. I was like, dude, everybody's getting censored. They're going to censor everybody. And now if you even say, they'll probably find out I was pretending I was Fauci, and everybody shut the show down just because of that. It's crazy. But I got one more prediction. But the My Pillow dude, man, love dude to death. But how much you bet, dude, they're going to destroy that man. Because he came out on TV and straight up just started. Man, this show I saw earlier was crazy that you put out. They were just going back and forth. I mean, they were clicking like Boomhauer, dude. It was all over the place. And so I think they're going to get him, man. They're going to be like, hey, my perspective of that is if y'all got proof, why y'all waiting too late? If it's out there and you have it on your computer, come on with it. Stop playing around. Stop waiting. It's too long, man. It's too late now. It's too little, too late, man. Trump's done he's done, man. And what do you mean you got to? Oh, I got the proof. I got the proof. Where you at with it? Why you waiting until now when it's over with and he done went back to Florida? You know, it's sad on our side, you know. And they are literally, man, for real. They're gonna destroy us, man. I hope they don't. I ain't dooming at all. I'm booming, man. I ain't even trying to doom on it, but I'm just saying that they're going to do whatever it takes to shut you down. Just like you said, Amazon all of a sudden out of nowhere, hey, man, let me go ahead and distribute this. Let me get this. They'll probably have drones dropping it out of the sky pretty soon, you know. But it is, man. But at the end, it's red pilling everybody, man. Like you said, the whole United States is, hopefully it don't turn blue, but it's getting red pilled, man, for real.
It is, man. But I thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Have a good night. See you.
Same to you. Yeah, man. It's wild. But yeah, we saw all this coming. We knew all this was going to happen. You know, they're trying to change the standard test for the virus now. We saw all this coming a long time ago. This ain't no surprise to us. On the left, they surprised. Oh, shot Pikachu face. It's like, why are you shocked? Why are you surprised? We were trying to tell you what was going to happen. But no, we the crazy Trump supporters, right? We're the lost. We're the coon Uncle Tom. We're the lost people that don't know what they're talking about. But now you see what we were talking about happen right in front of your very eyes. Okay, the mask mandate's going away. Well, the mask mandate is kind of like going away, but at the same time ramping up. Wear 2 masks. I mean, come on, stupid stuff. And now they're kind of like toying around with us. 415 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Yo, what's up? My name is Sherman. I live near Seattle, and I've been watching you since like last June or something.
All right, man. Well, I'm glad you're in the show. What's happening?
Nothing much. Just like I'm a college student, so everything's online. Like honestly, college is a joke. Do you think?
Well, yeah, you know what? It depends on what you're going to college for. If you're going to college for a thing that you don't necessarily need college for, like if you're not trying to be a doctor or open heart surgeon or something like that, it's like you got to reevaluate. Where are you going? Are you going to like a big school with a big amount of money you spending?
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm doing it for like data science, so I guess in the tech field, I think.
Okay. I mean, if I were you, I would evaluate if how much you're spending is worth it, because if you're going to school online, you could go to pretty much any online spot. It doesn't really matter where you go as long as it's a good school. You're able to get taught appropriately. That's the main thing that matters. You know, and I know guys that, you know, you got guys that are from India coming over here and doing that same type of field. They're not paying the American type of money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
I know what you're saying, man.
Right. If you're not even going to go to class anyway, I mean, at a certain point, it's just like online, you know, little lectures. You can go pretty much anywhere as long as it's a good education.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a third year actually. Like, I just want to get college over with, and because next year I'm gonna graduate anyway, so I might as well get it done. But okay, so I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, at first I didn't plan on voting for Trump until like I don't know if you've been paying attention to what's happening in and
You're breaking up. I couldn't hear you.
There's what?
So you're breaking up right there. Say that one more time for me.
So I was just saying that I wasn't gonna vote for Trump until I don't know if you've been paying attention to what's happening in Hong Kong.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I voted for Trump, but I'm very disappointed. But at the same time, and also like I've seen like all these rhinos, I'm disappointed with them too. Like this is why I'm an independent voter, and I think whoever's listening, like there's no harm voting independent, because let's be real, like I don't believe neither any parties for the people.
Well, I mean, If that's the case, then neither is the independent.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it does matter. Like on a national level, it can be kind of tricky, but on a local level, it most certainly does matter because a lot of these elections have very low turnout. So you got elections being decided by 10 votes, 20 votes sometimes, even in pretty decent sized cities. So local elections, I think, are what matters more than anything because let's say you live in a city, and depending upon how you vote, they may raise the minimum wage to like $15. That'll cause massive job loss, and it will cause you to pay more for what you buy every day in your city. So that's important. But national stuff, that's important as well. But it can be hard if you're living in a place like, Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, Seattle is like, it's pretty much Democrat, so there's nothing I can really do about that. But you do have a point about local elections and everything. So I have one more question though. You see how like the political climate in colleges, it's gone very liberal. Like, what can technically I guess I'm libertarian or moderate or whatever. Like, that I'm willing to like. I do have a lot of conservative friends in college, but I just want to ask, what can we do in college to like voice out and not like get shadow banned or get intimidated by other people in college?
So you want to speak out against what's happening on college campuses or where you go to school?
Yeah, kind of. Like I want like to at least take a stance on at least not get silenced.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this: the thing about college is that it's your money, you're paying for it, so you can vote with your wallet. Really, like I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to speak out against what's happening at a particular school. If it's you that's paying for it, you got the power. See, it's one thing if you are like in a society with everybody else and you don't want to just leave your whole, city or state, but you're choosing to go to a particular college. So what you can do is a couple different things. The first thing is that you can organize some guys and girls or whoever, get together, have groups on campus. That's always good to do, having campus groups and talk about certain things and go out there, maybe do some protests and whatnot. I'm not sure how successful it would be on your campus, but if it's me, I was never a kind of guy that would, hang out on a college campus. I did go to college, but I was a commuter. I would just drive from home and go there and just, do that. So what I would do is just go to a different college. I would just leave and transfer, go somewhere else because it's my money. Like if I'm not getting my money's worth and I'm not having a good experience and I'm paying my money, I want to have my money go to where I'll have the best experience. That's just me though. So maybe you like where you're going. Maybe you want to finish there. But if it was me, I would take my money and my credits and transfer somewhere else and have that be that. Or I would just go strictly online if that's possible. So I ain't got to deal with all the stuff that's happening on campus.
Yeah, I can see your point. Yeah. I mean, I can probably there's a college Republicans thing on my school, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, I guess I'll let you go since you got a lot of callers, but thank you so much for taking my call, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good night.
Yeah, I like the young guys, young girls calling the show. I like it a lot because when I was his age, I had no idea about politics. I didn't know at all. So these guys and girls are really, smart people. They're aware of what's happening. But like I said, it's your money. That's really just the bottom line. And you got guys paying crazy amounts of money. When I left my 4-year college, I didn't graduate from the 4-year. I graduated from the 2-year. I did not have any debt from the 2-year. I'll pay out my own pocket, and I had Pell Grants for some of the stuff. And then in my 1 year of my 4-year college, ODU in Norfolk, I had like $7,000 in college debt. That's it. That's all I had. My payments were like $65 a month for 10 years. And I paid it every time, even if I had no money. So my point behind that is I spent at least the amount of money possible. And then when I saw some weird things happening at ODU, I left. I was like, man, nah, now I'm not going to be played. I'm not going to be conned out of my money. I'm not going to have these liberal people try to indoctrinate me or do nothing crazy like that. Even at that time, I wasn't even political when I was about 21, 22. I wasn't even political but I didn't like what they were doing even in that part of my life. But I didn't even really know about politics at that point. I did not like these liberal guys, but at that time I did not know they were liberal. I just didn't like them because of how they were doing things. The guys that were like the administrators and stuff like that, I didn't like them. So I left. Took my money and my time elsewhere. All right, let's get to some more calls. Let's go. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Sonia. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. About yourself?
All right. I just wanted to follow up with that caller. I think his name was Tariq. He was talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And they don't like her because she's no punk.
Correct. There you go.
I mean, I knew about her because I saw the Year of the Republican Women. They were doing interviews on all the women that won that year, and it was supposed to be like a record-breaking thing. And she was one of them. So I knew what she was all about from that interview. I could tell she was the real deal. And then when they went to Georgia to talk about Stop the Steal, that woman, Loeffler, she spoke also, you know, in front of the crowd. And she just didn't seem sincere at all. So I'm not surprised what she did when the riot happened, because they weren't the same. To me, that Loeffler woman seems to be like the Mitches and all the rest. I don't know if you ever got that vibe as well from her.
I mean, maybe so. But I understand why she did what she did, because the Capitol was so toxic. It was like it put everybody in a bad situation. So I understand why she did what she did, but at the same time, I do see where you're coming from too. I do kind of see that kind of swampy type thing. I understand where you're coming from.
I mean, imagine Marjorie. She's in there with a bunch of jackals. I can't imagine what it's like to be around AOC and all of them. Did you hear that Cori Bush wanted to relocate her offices because they're afraid of their safety because of Marjorie?
Yeah, I saw that. And Cori Bush, I mean, really, if anything, it'd be the other way around, because Cori Bush got that big, deep voice. Like, she want to fight right now. So if I was Marjorie Taylor Greene, I would not want to be in the vicinity of that bulldozer. So she doing her a favor, really.
Well, the thing with her is that, you know, she wears masks. I mean, she has more cojones than all the men in there, because it says Trump won not that long ago, and now she wears one that says censored. She's not there to make friends. She's there to do what the people wanted her to do, and I can see why they don't like her. And I can't believe that Mitch McConnell is calling her the cancer when she's the fresh blood in the place.
Right, exactly.
It doesn't make any sense. And then I was thinking about how Ivan, he called in earlier, right, for his little told you so's. He's your number one fan, I think, and he doesn't realize it. About the voter fraud. You know, they actually had, it was the guy who owns My Pillow, right? They had him on Newsmax. I didn't know what he was going to say. They were there to find out why he got cut off from Twitter, right? I think that was the question he was being asked.
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking is, let him answer. He was trying to tell you that the reason why they're banning him on Twitter is because he was talking about election fraud, whether you believe it or not. But then they go ahead and do the same thing that Twitter's doing. They didn't let him finish his thought.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing, that was just a money thing, because they already been threatened by Dominion with a lawsuit, and they had to like retract their statement and do a bunch of different things. So they were just trying to protect their money. And then I think Mike Lindell knew that, because he went back onto Newsmax later that evening. Now, I think the guy that was interviewing him may not have handled that appropriately. It was kind of weird, like over talking and screeching, but that was just a money thing. Really, all of this is Dominion's fault. If Dominion weren't the ones that were trying to sue and keep information from spreading, then I think that whole ordeal would not have happened.
But you think that they had him on not knowing that he was going to talk about that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe that was miscommunication, because if they have him on, they should have told him beforehand, like, okay, let's talk about this. We can't talk about Dominion because of X, Y, and Z. That should have been communicated. Maybe that was a mistake on their part, but they are a small network, so they probably just made a mistake.
Well, I heard through the grapevines that they're controlled opposition, and that they're even associated with the Clinton administration or the Clinton Foundation or something like that. Or, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're there for just to make it seem like they are the opposite view. It's possible. I heard a lot of people don't trust them.
Yeah, I mean, that is possible. I mean, that's definitely possible. You never know nowadays.
And now I think Biden is reuniting the migrant children. Is that because their overflow facility is getting too crowded?
Well, I've not heard about them being reunited. I heard that he wants to do it, but I heard that kids are still in custody. So he still has kids in custody right now, and he wants to build another facility to get more of them in custody. So it might kind of be the opposite, rather than getting more kids reunited with their so-called parents, because a lot of them came by themselves and like coyotes. But rather than having that happen, he wants to have more of them in these little facilities in the so-called cages.
Oh, okay. I think it was Jericho Green that said something about them reunited. Maybe I heard wrong. But and then I'll leave you with this. You know, you had a caller that was really heartfelt. She was talking about being around during the civil rights movement and how she went through a lot and that she never considered herself to be superior and all that. It's interesting to hear somebody tell you their real life story about, what they went through, even though they're white. And then you have that fool that you showed that little clip who's saying that if you are born here, if you're white, just say you're racist. It's not that hard. I mean, how ridiculous does he sound, right, compared to somebody who's actually lived and been around a little bit and knows what their experience is as a white person, and he's saying, all you got to do is just say you're racist. Like, hurry up, just say it. Like, they want everybody to just hurry up and comply and conform. I mean, where was that? Was that like a PSA? Because I only caught the tail end of it.
Well, you know what? He's a prime example of what I was talking about. You got people like the caller that called earlier that have really lived it, have really experienced life, and they don't. This whole thing about white supremacy doesn't really exist. They've had some hard times, but that guy, he's like what the meme says. It's like good times create
live with
soft.
parents, maybe.
Yeah, live with his parents, of course, big time. He's in the basement right now making the video. You got the attendees. The attendees are being prepared right now upstairs. When he gets done, he's going to eat the attendees from upstairs and get on the game and pretty much do that. He's like 25 years old, chilling. So that's what's happening. But he's an example of what I was talking about. The people that have not lived that kind of life, that kind of feel guilty and feel like they are superior, and then they want to come out there and say stuff like that. It's just not an authentic experience.
No, they really out of touch. They don't know. They don't know what they're talking about, really. And what else was I going to say real quick? Well, you got a million calls, so I'll let you go until the next time. Have a good night, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Ciao. Bye.
All right. Shout out to Sonya. I said thank you for the call, man. I didn't mean to say that. I was just speaking real fast. But, yeah, shout out to her. But back to the guy. Yeah, the attendees are upstairs getting prepared. You want some barbecue sauce, some honey mustard? What you want, sir? All right. Go get the attendees from upstairs, come back down, and continue making your TikToks for free. That's kind of what's going on. And a guy like him will be saying, you know what, I'm superior. How superior how, sir? You have on pajamas and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. What are you talking about? But I'll move on. All right, let's go. 312, you know, line, I'm speaking to.
Hey, how you doing?
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Nothing. I just want to say, thanks for teaching like black Republicans and stuff. You are definitely an inspiration for me. I got off the Democrat plantation because of you and Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum and stuff like that. So that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate you.
Thanks, ABL. Have a good one, man.
Same to you now. All righty, let's get to some more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box below and also right here in the ticker. When it gets to it, there, right, perfect timing, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Let's get to the next call. And let's go. All right. 407 on the line. I'm speaking to.
ABL.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Hey, man. Alfonso here. Hey, got a question for you. I just recently watched your video with about Mike Lindell, Newsmax, the whole controversy thing, and wanted to know a little bit more about what you think of that. I was a little bit puzzled by your opinion on the whole thing about, you know, Newsmax and them, you know, doing that whole thing about, you know, basically censoring him and all that. And I mean, aren't news networks supposed to just report the news, whatever, you know, whether it's ridiculous or factual or not? It's an opinion thing. Why would Newsmax feel that he should be censored by his opinion, that he has all this evidence or whatever? They're the one that invited him and asked him why he thinks he got censored by Twitter or whatever, and he's telling what he thinks, what he thinks the reason was. So I'm not sure why that's justifiable. I mean, do news networks have to have a caption every half an hour saying, hey, the opinion of our guests is their own, isn't ours? I mean, that's kind of a given, right? I mean, we watch how CNN and ABC and MSNBC and all these networks lied about Trump constantly. They weren't really punished by that. And yet, why would Newsmax do that to Mike Lindell? I mean, obviously, that's his opinion, and whatever he has, or whatever his opinion is, it is. So what do you think? Make me understand what your opinion is on that.
I mean, it's a lawsuit. That's a long and short of it, because they already had a threat of a lawsuit. They sued Giuliani for $1.3 billion. Speaking about Dominion, they sued him for $1.3 billion, and they threatened OAN, Newsmax, and Fox that if they would continue their coverage about them without having, a court case and evidence presented, then they'd sue. So if Newsmax allows that to happen, now they face litigation. And you're talking about a lot of money just to even fight it will cost a lot of money, let alone trying to actually succeed. Just the fighting will cost too much. The settlement will cost too much. So they already came out and said before this interview that they retract their statements about Dominion and had not found any evidence, all this, that, and the third. That's what he was reading. The guy that was interrupting Mike Lindell, he was reading that from the sheet of paper, the thing they already put out, because they're not trying to have that legal battle get on their back and crush them financially, because it's not a big network. They don't have endless pockets. And even if they did, is this particular hill worth spending $1 billion on? I'm not really sure that it is.
Yeah, but in the big picture, that's problematic, right? I mean, because we can't have that kind of thing happening. I know what you're saying, of course, and I understand what our corrupted reality is, and I get it, what you're saying. But in a real, ideal reality, it's not really their business. I mean, these people can say whatever they want. Like I said, I'm going to put again as an example all the defamation of all the liberal networks that they had about Donald Trump, and nothing happened. They didn't pay for that. So what I'm saying is, like in general, though, this is, I mean, it shouldn't happen, right? I mean, this guy is saying his own opinion, and to this network to be cowardly about that.
I mean, it's not cowardly, because think about it though. Just think about it realistically. I understand your point of view and how you feel things should be, but the way things are is the way things are. So what are you going to do? Somebody could say that Newsmax didn't say it, but what is Newsmax? There's no person called Newsmax. It's a network. So anything on that network is subject to the same rules. It don't matter who says it. It could be the anchor. There's no, and in reality, the anchor and Mike Lindell are not different from each other when you're talking about defamation and stuff like that, because it's both on Newsmax. That's the point. It's just like when you have CNN and their anchors say something, you're going to sue CNN or Washington Post, just like Nick Salmon. There is no person called Washington Post to sue. It's those that were on the network saying certain things, and he was able to win. That's just the reality in the world in which we live. Now, maybe it shouldn't be that way, but it is what it is. They can't, Newsmax can't change that. You can't change that. I can't change that. So what are you going to do?
I don't know, maybe.
Nothing you can do. All I say is this. Rather than relying on Newsmax to break that news and potentially go out of business because they get in litigation on the back, we can do it ourselves through anonymous means. There's always, you got social media having stuff get leaked from anonymous sources, and it spreads just happenstance. That's how a lot of these things are spreading. Don't put that burden on Newsmax's back. We need them to be around to be an official voice for the normies out there to communicate information. And then we're able to get other information out there through alternative means rather than relying upon these news networks to do it for us.
All right, but you see how wrong that is, right? Like how
I mean,
how
it's not fair.
It shouldn't be like that, right?
It's not fair. I feel you, but what you gonna do? What are you really gonna do about it? Like I said,
what I'm saying is, like, if we don't have any reliable reporters or news outlets to tell us the truth, or at least not the truth, but just the raw opinion of people, whatever they think. like I said, just like CNN can get away with saying that Trump is a white supremacist, and they get away with it.
But see,
That's what
you
I'm
know,
saying.
you're comparing apples and oranges because you're talking about what they say about Trump versus what they say about a particular business. That's a different thing. And Trump could sue too. Like Nick Sammons sued and won, so he can sue if he wants to. But the question is it something that makes sense to do? Anybody could sue anybody. But I don't think Newsmax wanted that on their back because it would just cost too much financially.
No, but ABL, the difference is that I'm not saying the Newsmax had to get involved saying, yeah, that's true. The Dominion people are
You're not hearing what I'm saying though. You're not hearing what I'm saying because there is no Newsmax. There is no person called Newsmax. That's the point. Newsmax is a news network. Anything that appears on the network is subject to the same rules. It's just like a publication, New York Post. There's no person called New York Post, but if a thing is on New York Post, it gets published, that's liable to any kind of slander and libel. That's how that goes.
I mean, I guess I kind of see what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, well, people are just, should report the news. And, if they're going to have him as a guest and they probably knew what he was going to say, obviously the guy that jumped on him probably already predicted he would say something like that, then what's the point?
Well, I have more I understand. I have more calls I had to get to, but I think what's going on is it probably was a miscommunication. They probably should have told him from the beginning, and I agree with you on this part, that hey, we can't talk about Dominion. We got a lawsuit on our back. We're not trying to lose our shirt behind this. So let's talk about that, but not that. And matter of fact, Mike Lindell came on later that same day and did just that. That should have been what happened at the very beginning. That was a mistake, miscommunication. But I don't think it's Newsmax's fault. I think it's the fault of Dominion for threatening the lawsuit. But thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thanks. All right.
All right. So I mean, hey, don't rely upon Newsmax or put all the burden on their back. They're just one particular news outlet. We could do things on our own. We don't have to rely upon these people, and we can get around this stuff. That's what I was trying to tell them. It's like you got social media. You could get things out there. They could go viral and spread information. We know the mainstream media is either fake or limited or both, a combination of both. You got CNN, MS13, DNC. They're just fake and limited. Newsmax is limited because they got laws they got to abide by. You got civil stuff and legal stuff they got to do that we're not necessarily having to do ourselves. Okay, that's just what it is. You can find ways around it, but don't rely upon them to do that. But I do think there could have been better communication to say, all right, we got the lawsuit on our back. Let's not bring that up. We're not trying to have that. We're not trying to get in trouble. We're not trying to spend a bunch of money. That's all it's about. They don't really care about Dominion. They just care about that money. Like anybody would if you're trying to run a business. $404, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony, how you doing?
Okay, I'm all right. How are you?
It's been a long time, Anthony.
But you get locked up?
Yes, I did, and we got your man out of it, Anthony, when I got out too, Anthony.
Well, I'm glad you out. So what's going on?
Everything's going good, Anthony. The orange man is gone. What you gonna do now, Anthony?
I mean, I'm still living my life. Everything is good. So what are you gonna do? Because your man, Joe Biden, talking about giving them checks out, but they're kind of slow. So what's going on?
Whatever, Anthony. As long as they have my restoration check, I'm good, Anthony. Is you gonna get your restoration check too, Anthony?
I don't know what that is. What's that? Restoration check? What's that?
Restoration check, Anthony. You know, for being slaves, Anthony.
Oh, anybody getting that? You ain't getting that. Stop it.
Whatever, Anthony. And where your little friend been, Anthony?
Who you talking about?
That amazing Lucas.
Oh, that's your friend. I don't know what you talk about.
Whatever, Anthony. You just trying to explain it, but you thought I was gone, but I'm still here, Anthony.
Hey, I figured you was in jail, out there doing something crazy. You in Atlanta, it's getting crazy. I figured you was, still in the streets.
Well,
You
I
got, you
did get locked up, Anthony. I got locked up and I enjoyed myself, Anthony.
I bet you did. I bet you did.
Didn't want to come out, Anthony.
I'm good on that one.
Whatever, Anthony. But anywho, Anthony, I just want to let you know that I'm still here, Anthony.
That's great. That's excellent.
And you tell your friend you know my friend, Anthony. You already know whose name I'm finna say, Anthony.
Okay, look. We got kids watching, so let's not do nothing crazy. All right.
Do something crazy like what, Anthony? You know I'm talking about my man Kevin from Kevin's Corner, Anthony.
Okay, shout out to Kevin.
You know I'm trying to get in that corner, Anthony. I just,
Hey, look.
I just need you to help. You ain't gonna help me get in the corner, Anthony?
I can't do nothing with that. You gotta, figure it out on your own. I can't help you with that one, boss.
Whatever, Anthony. I'm finna go, Anthony. I ain't got to go out here and help make Atlanta gay again, Anthony.
All right, you go do that.
Okay, Anthony. Bye, my Anthony. Brian, me.
Let's not do the nicknames. Let's not do that. Yeah, that's an old troll caller. I ain't been calling in a minute. I figured they got locked up or something like that. It's like one of them parody calls to call in. But yeah. y'all are crazy in the chat. Y'all are wild. Let's get some more calls here. All right, call your line speaker 2619.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, too much. What's happening?
Hey, just another day in paradise. Got crazy world going on right now. You know how it is. But I just want to pick your brain a little bit. How you feel like how racism is right now?
Racism? I mean, I feel like racism exists mostly on television and social media, but not in everyday life.
So pretty much it's a projected idea. It's not really actual real day in, day out life.
Nah, it's not.
Yeah, that's the same way I feel. I mean, shit, I'm a retired Navy guy, and shit, that was one of the first things we learned in boot camp, that there is no such thing as color, man. It's just you live or you don't live.
Yeah, that's it. That's really what it is. And you in the military, you in that kind of environment, that kind of goes out the window. But some people in just regular everyday life, when they get on the internet, they get that megaphone, that stage, they want to find something to be grieved about, and then go on about that all day.
Oh, it's like every day, and it's like, dude, stop, man, live for once.
That's right.
All right, man. Hey, great show. Just wanted to give a quick call in. Keep up the good work, brother.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right. I got time for a couple more calls. Oh, the time flying. It's already on my 11 o'clock. Wow. Time flying. All right. 843, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 843, hello. Oh, 843 got cold feet. I don't know what happened. Oh, word to the wise. If you're calling in for the first time, be ready to answer the phone when I pick up, please. Thank you. Let's go. 818, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 818, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, it's nice to meet you.
All right, what's going on, man? What's your name?
Dutch.
All right, what's happening?
Nothing much. I just want to know about cops being being bullied in like these protests, man. Like it's bad. Come on, that's a human being you're making fun of, or just harassing.
You said cops being bullied?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is I should have used a professional word. Sorry.
No, you good. I was just trying to make sure I know what you were talking about. But yeah, these people, some people just, they want to find something to be a part of. They feel like they can be part of Black Lives Matter or something like that, and they can hate the police. They may come from a nice environment, never had any issues with the police, never really seen anything like that in their real life, and then they go out there, and it's like kind of a trendy thing to do. And then you have those that get caught up in the mix that are really about that anarchist life and are using the movement to push forward their particular narratives. And it's really a shame because it's kind of discouraging cops from being cops. They don't want to be officers anymore. They'd rather just go home and do something else, start a business, and you know, not serve because they got in it not for the money. They got in it for the people to do something for the community, to serve and protect the community. But then when you get treated like garbage, it's like, okay, what's the point? I might as well retire or just quit and do something else. So it's really a shame.
Yes, and like today, I passed by some patrol car, and literally I think he was crying, but I know the face, like dude, what am I doing here? Here, like I passed by one of the BLM rallies. It was not big; it was like a medium small. Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah. So I got a question. What state are you in? Like what area of the country are you in?
California.
Oh man, good grief, man! I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry to hear you in California. I can imagine how it is over there right now. You know, that's the left coast, belly of the beast. It can be a mess, man. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of guys are like, what am I doing? Why be here? I might as well do something else. I'm not getting paid a ton of money. What's the point? So I feel them. And it's really a shame. It shouldn't be that way. Cops should be respected more than what they are right now, but they're just, in a lot of places, they're not treated properly.
Yeah, exactly. Like you seen the video of George Floyd's death?
Yeah, I saw the whole thing with George Floyd. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's terrible. Well, like, yeah, you should like not hold him down that long, but it doesn't mean I want to riot over it.
I mean, at the end of the day, if not for this whole Black Lives Matter thing, and if not for that happening at the perfect time during an election and having the Black Lives Matter, nobody would care. People die every day in like all types of ways, and nobody cares. It's not even a story. It's only a story because it was something to gain from it politically, and it's really a shame. It was they used that man as a fundraiser. It's a crying shame, but that's what happened.
Yeah. And my family owns a small business, and it's terrible. It's hard for us, man, and especially while I was going on with the working class. Like my family used to be in the military. My family served for generations, and my grandfather he hated these protests, as he hated when people block the freeway or the highway, whatever. He just wants to go to work and try to earn a living, and the governor of California is just like sitting around, just getting bonuses all around. If I were like governor, I would give those bonuses, or maybe half of my salary to these small businesses that are getting burned down. Because I have a buddy of mine, I used to know him in middle school, and his dad has a carpentry business in Portland, and it got burned down, and his dad got beat up by BLM protesters, my bad, and it's terrible. Because I knew his dad, and he was like a closest thing to a friend,
right?
And he's in the hospital right now, and he was just trying to help someone get out of the situation, because these protesters were just beating up a guy for just wearing a MAGA hat, Make America Great.
I'm with you, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoy your show, man.
Appreciate
it's
you.
really cool.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right. Shout out to the final caller. that'll be it for me tonight for the calls. If you couldn't get in, it's not my fault. You got to blame the white man. But thank y'all for being here yet again. I definitely appreciate you guys. I'll be back live again on Saturday of this week. You all know what time it is. 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right around 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday live. And I'm here every day of the week with pre-recorded videos talking about just whatever's happening during the day. And that will pretty much be it. Shout out to the moderators doing a great job keeping them trolls in check if they ever come in here to get stomped out immediately. So I appreciate y'all for being here, doing what you do. I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick, and then I'm going to just go and wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. Let me see. Where was I at here? Okay. Let's go back. Okay, I think I was right here. DM says Newsmax founder gave $1 million to the Clinton Foundation. Very interesting. Thank you to Adam Davidson for continuing to be an ABL supporter. And he also says, keep up the good work, dude, with the beer emojis. Cheers. Hey, cheers right back to you, man. I got my tea in the sir mug. And I got to do the ma'am mugs, too. I got to do that one. Laura says, ABL, have you heard the song The Patriot? Yeah, I think I read that one already. Shout out to my man Topher and also the Marine rapper. Let me see. Tyrannius, hopefully I didn't butcher your name, says, what's the deal with AOC? Wasn't even at the Capitol. Good point. Bearbait says, HR 127, Big Gun Control. I read that one already. Okay. Shane says, once the population is sufficiently altered to negate conservative votes, there will be no more option for a political solution. And we've seen what happens to candidates. Okay. I know you're the anarchist. You want to just, rah. Go out there and see what happens. Wolfgang, thank you for your donation, says, hey, ABL, you may need to look for a new way of taking in super chats. It just demonetized a moderate lawyer. Just saying. Was he white? That's probably what happened. That's usually what goes on. Thank you to Barbara for your donation with the heart emoji. You talking about H.A. Goodman? Did they demonetize him? Is he a lawyer? I'm not sure if he is or not. I think Lionel is also. Who did they demonetize as a moderate lawyer? That's what I want to know. Thank you to Mary G, who says, anyone having issues open and banned videos website from InfoWars page? Hey, they could be having technical issues at a certain point. Angel and Marty says, watch OANN on Friday, 3-hour documentary exposing everything. They're running continually, saying mass arrest. Let's check it out. Let's see. Martin says, I got your 1776 hat, the Ross hat. Wear it every day, man. Keep up the good work, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Devin says, ABO, thank you for the counseling. Thank you for counseling the caller. But y'all have to get along here, and it's not getting any easier with certain narratives being pushed lately. Exactly. Thank you to Motor Love for continuing to be an ABL supporter. Shout out to Hey You, who says, ABL, I heard Tim Cast say I digress a few times tonight. I think he's watching you. Let's get on this show. Also, let's stop competing live against our team. We got to collaborate and work together. Hey, it's all good. I'll collaborate with anybody. But I'll do my show every day the way I normally do it, but I collaborate with anybody. Thank you to Laura, who says, has anyone else noticed Biden's handlers are still keeping him in the basement? Pretty much. He'll come out every now and again. They feed him some applesauce and stuff like that when he's down there and keep him satiated, but they bring him out to sign some papers and then stick him right back down in there. That's how that goes. Theo Francis 3.0 says, AOC may have lied. They're saying she wasn't even in the Capitol building during the riot. JVS H-Time says, Obama administration, quote, detention facilities, Trump administration, kids in cages, OMG, Biden men, overflow facilities. Exactly. You have an overflow facility, and that's fine. Kids in cages, not fine. Detention facilities, that's fine too. It's funny how that works. Thank you to Leo Mazinda for the Superman emoji donation. Thank you to Candace W, who says, shout out to ABL. Thanks and God bless. Matthew says, is Antony. And shout out to News Clippings, who says, this is Sonia, who called earlier. Just wanted to say I updated my channel name for politics and news only to this. If anyone wants to vent with me, just leave a comment on a video. Thanks. Yes. So shout out to News Clippings, ! Who was also Sonia that called in earlier. You guys go ahead and follow her on the YouTubes and go about it that way. So that's pretty much all I got. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. I'll be back again live on Saturday, of course. Go to my Instagram page, follow me there. I'm gonna do some stuff live on there as well, some counseling type stuff. I'm gonna do more of that, some advice, counseling tips. That's kind of what I want to get more into. You know, I got a lot of life experience. I mean, I've had a lot of life experience. I'm talking about an old man worth of experience. So I've seen a lot, been through a lot, and I had some success a little bit. So yeah, that'll be pretty much what I'm doing on there on the Instagrams. And I'll be uploading that here on the YouTubes on a different channel called Ask ABL. That should be somewhere on the YouTubes. Find that. And I'll be posting that more on the community tab in the page. That's all I got for tonight. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.